everybody, to ABC's College Football presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. Today from Ohio Stadium, the Horseshoe in Columbus, more than 100,000 on hand as usual to watch a Pac-12 Big Ten matchup, the California Golden Bears and the 12th ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. Hello everybody and welcome. I'm Sean McDonough along with Chris Spielman. We'll be joined shortly by Quint Kessenich. Delighted to have you with us. Ohio State off to a 2-0 start in its first year under Urban Meyer. Chris, when we spoke with the coach yesterday, he said, my team is good, not great, and they're leaning very heavily on the quarterback, Braxton Miller.
Yeah, perhaps too much, Sean. When you're talking about a guy that's accounting for over 70% of your offense through his arm and his legs, it's a little too much because they have so many playmakers. But what does Braxton do well? Right here, watch him set the defense with his eyes. This is a designed run, a quarterback draw. And one of the best things Braxton can do, once he gets an open field, he turns into a powerful running back with great speed that can finish. This is what you want to avoid. The shots that he's taken, over 44 carries on the year so far, way too many. He needs to trust the playmakers around him. He has enough of them, and look for Ohio State to go deep early against Cal's defense.
It's a Cal team that is 1-1. They got off to a disappointing start, lost their opener at home against Nevada, bounced back with a win at home last week against Southern Utah. They lean heavily on their quarterback, Zach Maynard, and his brother, one of the best wide receivers and playmakers in the country, in Keenan Allen.
Well, we sit in a lot of meetings, and when a coach says about a quarterback he manages the game well, that means he's not playing it well, particularly Zach Maynard, because he has all the tools. In fact, I look for him to incorporate the running game a little bit more with Zach today, but he's got to be more accurate with the football, especially on short passes, and get the ball to a #1 draft pick, a wide receiver that's explosive, not only as a receiver, but as a punt returner, Keenan Allen.
And Ohio State takes the field. Third game of their season. Home wins against Miami of Ohio and the University of Central Florida. This will be the third of 4 consecutive home games to open the Urban Meyer era. Opening kickoff on a beautiful day in Columbus right after this. Welcome you back to the capital of the great state of Ohio, Columbus, on a gorgeous mid-September afternoon. Captains meeting at midfield for the toss of the coin, the first meeting between these two football programs since 1972. Down on the sideline, here's Quint Kessenich.
Sean, a little injury update before we get things started here for Ohio State. They'll be playing without running back Carlos Hyde. Good timing, though. They welcome back Jordan Hall, who was injured this summer. Kind of a freak accident where he cut a tendon in his foot in June. He had surgery, but he's back in the mix. He practiced on Wednesday and Thursday, took some hits, the thud portion of practice, but he wasn't fully tackled, and ball security will be an issue. He looked explosive in warm-ups. How much rust does he show? Also defensively, Nathan Williams, defensive end, should take some snaps today. He didn't play last week. He should bolster a Buckeye pass rush that has been non-existent. Meanwhile, for Cal, tight end Richard Rodgers, unlikely to play, according to head coach Jeff Tedford. A foot injury. He was hobbling through warm-ups. They'll miss him in blocking situations because he's a big tight end at 6'4", 265. Sean?
Yeah, Coach Jeff Tedford says he thinks Rodgers is the best tight end in the country, so that is a big loss if, as expected, he cannot go. Tedford winning as coach in Cal history, but coming under some criticism. They've been mediocre the last couple of years, 12-13 the last 2 seasons, 7-6 last year, matching wits against his good friend Urban Meyer. They've exchanged a lot of information over the years, got to know each other on some Nike coaches trips. And Urban back home at Ohio State, native of Ashtabula, Ohio, started his coaching career here with the Buckeyes as a graduate assistant. And after a year out, he decided coaching was better than working with Chris Spielman in a broadcast booth. So He's returned to the sidelines.
Well, he's not the first that decided that. That happens a lot for some reason with me. But Urban is...
I've been looking for coaching jobs myself.
How's that going for you?
Not well.
Well, we think we're coaches up here anyway, but Urban's done a good job. And I really think this Cal team, Sean, matches up well against Ohio State. I know that they're kind of a heavy underdog coming in, but after watching the film and you and I breaking it down, we really think we're going to have a good football game here. And Ohio State on the ball early with the offense. Look for them to go deep early. Cal likes to play a lot of man-to-man. They want to get it going down the field.
California won the toss and deferred. You saw they've had some issues covering kickoffs. Vincenzo D'Amato will kick off to Devin Smith. And Bryante Dunn, a true freshman. Good kickoff. Very little breeze here. What little wind there is at the back of Cal here in the first quarter. Out of the back of the end zone, so out to the 25 comes the ball. And the Ohio State offense, led by the sophomore Braxton Miller, fourth leading rusher in the nation. He's leading the Big Ten at 151 yards rushing per game. 27 carries last week against Central Florida. That is way too many. Tom Herman, the offensive coordinator, said he was supposed to hand about 10 of those off, and then Reed plays, elected to keep them. They don't want him taking a beating. Jordan Hall, as Quint said, back in action, seeing his first action this season, and gets the carry right away and gets nothing. Stopped at the line of scrimmage by Chris McCain, outside linebacker. It's primarily a 3-4 defense for Cal. Both of these teams will go up tempo on offense. Miller got them back to the line quickly and then looks to the sideline for assistance.
Jordan Hall is a guy that Urban talked about in the springtime that was going to be his Percy Harvin this year. Good for him to get back on the field with the missing player Carlos Hyde with the knee injury.
Miller hands it off. That time a hole for Hall. Running between center and left guard. Nick Forbes, a linebacker. Michael Lowe, a safety, made the tackle for the Golden Bears. They've been a good defensive team. Best team in the Pac-12 in total defense the previous 2 seasons. 3rd and 3 for Ohio State. 52% for the year on 3rd down. That's excellent. Swing pass to Corey Brown, and he has a first down. Primarily a wide receiver, but they will line him up in the backfield from time to time. 5-yard gain as we look at today's impact players, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
All right, we already talked about Jordan Hall, how important it is for this offense to have him back. Corey Brown will be a major part of the game plan today, and a guy that needs to get going, Jake Stoneburner, has kind of underperformed so far in the first 2 ball games.
Tight end under the previous regime. More of an H-back type now in Urban Meyer's offense. Corey Brown takes the handoff and gets to the 41 for a gain of 4. Corey came to Ohio State from the Philadelphia area, wanted to be a running back, was disappointed when the previous coaching staff moved him to wide receiver, but now he's adjusted to it and is enjoying it. Very quick snap. Miller had nowhere to throw it and avoids taking a hit. That might have been the byproduct of those 27 carries last week, Chris. I think the coaches want to make sure he just does not get banged around. He went down without a fight at the 43.
He just has to be smart. Now that time he went down a little bit too easy, but he'll get a feel because he's a tough kid and he wants to hit it up in there. But he has to understand, and I know he does, the value that he brings to this offense.
27 rushes, more than any quarterback in a single game in Ohio State history. The opener, he ran for 161 yards against Miami of Ohio. That is the Ohio State single game rushing record for a quarterback. Chris McCain, slow to get up. He had a concussion not long ago, and you wonder if that's the issue again as they're talking to him.
He's a playmaker on that Cal defense, and that would be a tough loss.
Cal defense, as we said, has been very good the last few years. They've had to replace some key players, particularly Michael Kendricks, Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year last year, linebacker, the second-round pick of the Philadelphia Eagles. Third down, a long 3, nearly 4 for Braxton Miller and the Buckeyes. And it's dropped. It was slant to Corey Brown, who couldn't hang on. He would have had the first down. Mark Anthony, their best cornerback, had the coverage for the Golden Bears.
When you struggle with consistency as an offense, which Ohio State has been doing the first 2 games, it's because of that. The simple plays that you should make and you don't make.
There's Keenan Allen last week. Then their win over Southern Utah, 50-31. He brought a punt back 69 yards for a touchdown. He's already scored running, receiving, and on a punt return. Ben Buchanan's punt goes sideways out of bounds at the 20-yard line. 37-yard punt, no return. Urban Meyer will take that all day. No chance for Allen to bring it back. Keenan Allen's brother, half-brother, is Zach Maynard. He's 2.5 years older than Keenan. Their parents are here today. Scott Lang and Dory Maynard Lang. They are exceptionally close. Maynard with decent numbers, but by his own admission, he's been inconsistent. That's been the case throughout his career. And they've been a slow starting team. They haven't scored in the first quarter in their first 2 games. Out in the flat it goes to the fullback, Eric Stevens. Delivered a stiff arm to C.J. Barnett, and a good gain on first down. He got 8. Now the Chick-fil-A impact players for California.
It starts with their running back duo, Isi Sofele, C.J. Anderson. Both of them very productive, and of course we talked about Keenan Allen, dynamic on the edge.
Sofele and Anderson combined for about 1,600 yards rushing last year. Most of it for Sofele. Maynard on target. Darius Powell, the freshman, true freshman, with his first career catch. But Chris, there's an example of the inconsistency. If it's an accurate throw, Powell is running after the catch.
There was nobody with him because of a miscommunication within the defense, but that's been the problem with Zach Maynard all year. Give the guy so he can make the transition from catch to run.
He's very inconsistent, even on those short throws that should be easier, and he often makes them look. Isi Sofele rushed for over 1,300 yards last year, tackled by Jonathan Hankins and John Simon. Coaches on both sides rave about Simon. Jeff Tedford went on and on yesterday about how much he appreciates not only what a fine player Simon is, but the way he goes about it. Plays with great effort. Clearly a great team guy when you watch the way he interacts with his mates on the field. Sofele running room around the right end, and he has another first down, banged out of bounds at the 50 by Christian Bryant. 14-yard run for Sofele. First down, Cal.
You always want a short edge. Right down there. They get the defensive end, number 50, on the ground, and J.T. Moore. They get him on the ground. They make that short corner. Sofele does a good job of recognizing the open area and showing a nice little burst of speed to get to the outside. It's all about cutting that end down. Well executed by the Cal offense.
It's an offensive line that is a work in progress. They're playing without 2 would-be starters today. Maynard blitzed and buried. Back inside the 40. They haven't been able to rush the passer in the first 2 games, so you anticipated they might blitz more, and Bradley Roby did for an 11-yard loss.
Well, first of all, it starts with the disguise from Bradley Roby right there. Spencer Hagan, who's been not active so far this year, is a little slow in reacting. He knows he has the most outside dangerous guy, does not get to him, and Bradley Roby with the finish.
Ohio State had just 3 sacks in the first 2 games. Some of it was their opponents were throwing the ball quickly off 3-step drops, but Urban Meyer was still a lot less than pleased. 2nd and 21. Zach Maynard with time, throws, and it's caught just shy of midfield. Keenan Allen the catch. He caught 98. a year ago, second in the Pac-12. And then Robert Woods of USC, who had 111. Not much for California early against Nevada and Southern Utah.
Get off to a little start here. It's a little bit of rhythm, and I think that gives them confidence when you're in a hostile environment like the Horseshoe in Columbus.
Had a lot of problems with penalties. Chris Harper went in motion. 3rd down and 11. A low snap from Brian Schwenke, and then Maynard goes down, pressured by Etienne Sabino.
Anytime there's a low snap, it throws off the timing of the routes. Also excellent coverage by the Buckeye defenders in the back end. There's no way for Zach Maynard to go, and you're asking an awful lot of your pass protection when there's pressure or blitz package coming to hold them out that long.
The Ohio State defense heard the criticism. 3 sacks in the first 2 games total. 2 sacks on that opening Cal series. Cole Leininger, true freshman punter in his first road game. And it's a dandy. It's going to be down inside the 5. Down by Avery Sebastian at the 4-yard line. 57-yard punt. Longest of his brief career for the freshman Leininger.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio.
And we're back in Columbus, Ohio. The Buckeyes hosting the California Golden Bears. Each team's had it once, and each has punted once. Braxton Miller. And the Buckeyes begin from their own 4-yard line after the excellent punt by Cole Leininger. Jordan Hall, the running back, he bounces to his right and slides out to the 8 for a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Well, Sean, it's interesting that Jordan Hall and Braxton Miller are working well together, and Braxton seems to trust Jordan Hall at that running back position because he's not looking to keep it.
Now he throws on the run, caught short of the 1st down. Devin Smith swung out of bounds at the 12-yard line by Alex Logan, starting safety from Denver, Colorado. 3rd down and 2. Chris McCain, who was wobbly on their first defensive series, is back out there for Cal, that outside linebacker. Miller throws, dropped. They've had a couple of chances to move the chains that went by the boards because receivers couldn't hang on to the ball. This time it was Devin Smith.
Coming into the season, that's what Urban Meyer was worried about, was the consistency of the receivers. Watching spring football, I saw what he was talking about, and so far that's carried over into this game. Against good teams, you have a chance to make the simple play. You don't make it. This happens a lot. Punt.
Well, Cal should get excellent field position. Keenan Allen standing at midfield for the punt from Ben Buchanan. Fair catch signaled and made right at the 50-yard line. 38-yard punt.
ESPN's College Football on ABC, brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beer, sports. Cadillac, the standard of the world. And New York Life Insurance Company.
Pictures of Columbus, Ohio, then and now. It's celebrating its 200th birthday this year. Ohio's capital city. On the field in the pregame, the band paying tribute to Columbus, the number 200, and spelling out Columbus. It's home to you. Really great city. Everybody I know like you who lives here just loves living here. High quality of life.
Absolutely. Great people, friendly, wonderful place to raise a family. That's why my late wife and I chose to come back here after the NFL.
Great field position. There was a 5-yard penalty added on after the punt because of an illegal formation by Ohio State on the punt. Eric Stevens catches the pass from Zach Maynard, goes out at the 40-yard line, a gain of 5.
Play action slows down an aggressive defense. And clearly that's what Jeff Tedford's decided to do, just to slow them down. A lot of play action bootlegs to make sure they're keeping disciplined on the defensive side.
High formation now. Stevens in front of E.C. Sofele. And so Fele follows Stevens and gets wrestled down after a gain of about 2. Curtis Grant made the tackle, sophomore linebacker from Richmond, Virginia.
We've been waiting for Curtis Grant to make an appearance. Really hasn't lived up to the potential of being a #1 linebacker recruited out of high school. Grown into the position.
3rd down, just less than 3 to go for a first down. Cal's been brutal on 3rd down this year. 8 out of 25. 32% and in trouble again. So Fele lost yardage. Lost nearly 2, forced out by Bradley Roby. And a decision now for Jeff Tedford on 4th down and about 4. 6.5 to go in the first quarter. They're just inside the Ohio State 40-yard line.
Boy, if you respect John Simon and what a great player is, you probably don't run to him in the short side of the field because John Simon bounced that ball out so Roby can clean up.
Cal lined up to go for it. They're 1 for 1 on 4th down this year. Jacob Wark, the tight end, the move man. Simon puts pressure on Maynard. His pass is deflected and incomplete. And it's a break for Ohio State. They dropped it because had they hung on, they would have cost themselves about 10 yards in field position. Chris Harper was the intended receiver.
This is about Zach Maynard right here. A good job, and Chris Harper's open. Nice job of the offensive line. Good protection, creating that throwing lane right inside there, and Chris Harper just drops the ball. Again, we've seen it on both sides. Opportunities to make routine plays in big games. They're not capitalizing on either side.
You know, critical downs that would have kept drives alive. Now it's excellent field position for the Buckeyes. Braxton Miller. Design roll to the right. Lofts it to the sideline, incomplete. Looking for Corey Brown. Mark Anthony had the coverage. Senior from Chandler, Arizona. One of the best cornerbacks in the country.
One of the things Braxton needs to do is expand his vision. We talked about with the coaches. He's not seeing the field. Corey Brown was open. He saw him too late and lobbing it when he should have threw the fastball in there because he was there. But when you lob it, you don't give your receiver room to work on the sidelines.
Maybe the pistol look there. The original setup. Jordan Hall weaves his way out across the 45. Alex Logan made the tackle. Here comes another 3rd down and almost 5.
A lot of times you preset the pistol, Sean, so you see how the defense is going to adjust. You don't give them an opportunity. You try to screw up their adjustments if you offset your back to the right or the left, which determines where they bring their 8th man in the box down for an extra run defender.
Lining Corey Brown up in the backfield again. From time to time they'll send him out in motion. Design run for Miller. Nifty footwork. And now plenty of running room down the near sideline. Touchdown.
Well, this was something that Clancy Pendergrass was concerned about. Braxton Miller running the football. They had it defended. Alex Logan in great position to make a play. And Braxton Miller at 220 pounds can run over you, or he can shake and bake you and put you on his highlight film right there.
Longest run of the season for Braxton Miller. Tremendous feat. 55 yards and the touchdown. Drew Basil. No good. Wide right. And it's 6-0. First extra point miss of the year for Basil in 13 attempts. Well, there are very few quarterbacks in the country who can do that.
It was a beautiful day. The sun beat down.
We welcome you back to college football. Presented by Buffalo Wild Wings from the banks of the Olentangy River. Ohio Stadium, or as Chris Spielman likes to call it, the house that Chris Spielman built.
Yeah. Just this booth.
Buckeyes lead 6-0 on a spectacular day. It was chilly this morning. The temperature in central Ohio down in the 40s overnight. 68 now, expected to get up into the mid-70s under bright sunshine. Basil, after missing the extra point, kicks off. Good kick. Brendan Bigelow decided to let it bounce through the end zone. Tonight on ABC, a big ball game. Saturday Night Football presented by Windows. Number 20 Notre Dame up in East Lansing to take on 10th ranked Michigan State. That's at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. Notre Dame has lost 9 straight games against teams ranked in the top 10 in the Associated Press poll. Haven't won one since 2005. Maybe third ranked Michigan, but a chance tonight against Sparty.
We'll see Le'Veon Bell, Manti Te'o collide. Looking forward to that.
They've played some exciting, wild games in recent years. Home team has won the last 4 between Michigan State and Notre Dame. After Cal went for it on 4th down and didn't convert, the Buckeyes made them pay. And now Sofeli breaks away from the pile and gets across midfield. Looked like he'd be stopped for a short gain, but they didn't wrap him up and get him down, and he runs for 26 to the Ohio State 49.
The reason why he went for 1,300 yards last year. Look at he keep his feet moving. Linemen are staying on blocks, spinning, fighting for every single yard you can get. And when you're small in stature, you're tough with your heart.
He's 5'8", he's 200 pounds. He gets the call again and leaps down to the 44. Gain of 5. Ryan Shazier's been the leading tackler for the Buckeyes this year. Made the tackle.
One of the problems the Ohio State linebackers have had so far this year is they really don't attack the line of scrimmage, and that allows the offensive linemen for the opponent to stay on the double teams of the defensive line, so linebackers are making tackles for 5-yard gains as opposed to 1-yard gains.
Maynard with the blitz coming, got it off to Keenan Allen, and he's chopped down with another first down at the 26-yard line of Ohio State. Christian Bryant made the tackle. Gain of 18 for Maynard and his brother Allen.
Well, if you're going to play off, then Keenan Allen will hurt you because this is going to do a little 5-yard square, and he's great with run after catch. The ball was on target, so the transition was easy to make catch to run.
Allen has just about everything you'd look for in a great wide receiver, including size. He's 6'3", 210 pounds. Outstanding hands. Coaches praise his instinctive knowledge of the game. C.J. Anderson, part of that quality running back tandem. He powered down to the 22, a gain of 4, tackled by C.J. Barnett and Etienne Sabino.
Yeah, Sean, I'm going to go back to my point. I mean, linebackers are kind of flowing at 5 yards, and when C.J. Anderson's able to get to the second level, 2 or 3 yards past the line of scrimmage, you have to have safeties coming up because the linemen are getting blown back into the linebackers.
Play action pass from Maynard. Drops it off to Jacob Wark. He's banged out at the 19, 3 yards short of the first down. Solid hit by Ryan Shazier, sophomore from Plantation, Florida.
It's clear what Jeff Tedford's game plan is. A lot of play action passing, short passing routes, and what it's done is got Maynard into a groove and a rhythm and getting a ball into the hands of their playmakers.
3rd down and 3. They are in field goal range. Maynard, the quick hitter for a first down and more. Chris Harper, touchdown, California. And an extra point away for the lead now for the Golden Bears. First points in the first quarter this year for the Golden Bears. Jeff Tedford stressed the importance of getting off to a better start than they have in the first 2 games. Vincenzo D'Amato puts Cal up by 1. 75 yards in 6 plays in just over 2.5 minutes. Chris Harper, the touchdown, nicely executed. play by Jeff Tedford and his team. (7-6) California leading here in Columbus. First road game of the season for the Golden Bears. Played all their games away from home last year as their stadium was being renovated. First time they've scored this season in the first quarter. Zach Maynard's off to a terrific start. He's 7 for 8 for the game. 71 yards and a touchdown. Vincenzo D'Amato kicks off. Bryante Dunn, the freshman, will take a knee.
There's something to be said about team offense. We're going to get, first of all, Chop right here. He gets the hands down. So watch the tight end pick C.J. Barnett. Jacob Work will come out and pick C.J. Barnett, which leaves it wide open for Harper, number 6. And the reason why they're able to do that, if you're going to play man, you have to get up and press, especially against the bubble team. That's Harper's second touchdown of the year on the bubble screen. You have to get up and press him to take that away. Well executed. Team offense executed at its highest level.
And Braxton Miller and the Buckeyes trailing for the first time today. Quick pass and about a 9-yard gain to Devin Smith, sophomore from Massillon, Ohio. You mentioned the wide receiver problems. Last year, Chris, their leading receiver had 14 catches.
Well, that's not the balance certainly that Urban's looking for or Luke Fickell was looking for last year. And I think they're more efficient, Sean, when they're up tempo. Right now they're pretending to be up tempo. That gets everybody into a rhythm, but they were really concerned about Braxton Miller getting exhausted during the game.
Urban says he has to watch it closely. They get the feeling that he's out of gas. Maybe call a running play. Miller, not sure he got the first down. He was dancing parallel to the line to gain. And he is going to be given the 35 and a first down, tackled by Brennan Scarlett. Buckeyes off that 6-7 season last year with all kinds of turmoil. Jim Tressel resigning after the scandal involving Terrell Pryor. Luke Fickell took over on an interim basis, and the Buckeyes had their first losing season since 1988. Miller deep and a man wide open down the middle. Jake Stoneburner. All the way to the Cal 25. 40-yard gain, first down, Ohio State.
It's just a tight end vertical. They bring Jake Stoneburner, line him up tight end, and run him down the middle of the field. We told you how Cal liked to press the line of scrimmage in Ohio State to attack deep early, and that's what they've done with 1:34 to go in the first.
Longest reception of the year for Stoneburner, deep again, end zone, touchdown, Devin Smith. You said Urban Meyer and his staff wanted to take some deep shots, and the Cal coaches knew they would. We talked to Clancy Pendergast yesterday, the defensive coordinator, said we anticipate they're going to throw the ball down the field. They did on consecutive plays for 40 yards and then a 25-yard touchdown. And Drew Basil's extra point makes it 13-7 Buckeyes.
That's the growth of a quarterback right there. We're talking about Devin Smith at 6'1", 200 pounds, working on Stevie Williams at 5'10". That's the matchup that you want to have. You'll see the clean release. It's a nice soft man coverage with a free deep. He's just going to take off right down the field. Now watch Braxton Miller develop trust with his receiver. What am I talking about trust? You see Stevie Williams on top of Devin Smith. When you read the corner and he's on top, that's an automatic read between the receiver and the quarterback to throw the back shoulder, and that back shoulder was a dart and a fastball, and you see the strong hands of Devin Smith to finish. And not a bad job by Stephen Williams. Not bad at all. It's just a well-executed play. Out-physicaled the corner. The receiver won that one-on-one matchup.
Buckeyes went 75 yards on 4 plays, needing only a minute and 11 seconds to do it.
Energize the crowd. I know Urban Meyer was talking about in the beginning of the week just that there was a lack of energy, and He was kind of calling out the fans without calling out the fans. Wouldn't you agree from what we've read and people we talked to, Sean?
Well, George O'Leary, the Central Florida coach, said before his team came here last week rather, that this is not a particularly noisy place. Brennan Bigelow, chance to run one back. He has excellent speed. And it's well covered by the Buckeyes. Jamal Marcus made the tackle. Here's John Anderson in the studio with our first update of the day. Hello, J.A.
Taco Bell studio update. Thank you, Sean. Pitt, Va-Tech. Pitt was miserable the first 2 weeks, but they got something going here against the Hokies. Tino Sinceri to Devin Street. That's not just 7-0. It's now 14-0 at the end of one. The number 13 team in the country is down. Sean, back to you.
Pitt just a horrible start. Trying to get it rolling under Paul Christ. Zach Maynard, the quarterback, has Sofele and Anderson on the field together. Storm Klein is in for the Buckeye defense, seeing his first action of the year. Sofele swung down to the 25 by Garrett Goebel, part of the middle of that defensive line.
It was a good job of Goebel defeating his guy one-on-one, maintaining gap integrity. Again, you want those linebackers attacking downhill. I talked to Luke Fickell about it, and quite frankly, he agreed with me.
Luke Fickell, retained by Urban Meyer, serving as the interim head coach last year. He's now co-defensive coordinator with Everett Withers, who was the interim head coach at North Carolina last year. Maynard gets it off and almost threw an interception. It hit Bradley Roby, who had nothing but field turf ahead of him.
Well, maybe the reason was off a little bit because he got hammered in the backfield with a combination of John Simon and Nathan Williams, who missed last week because of a knee. Here, that's a nice little option route. Misread by Zach Maynard, probably because he had to make the throw early because Buckeyes were coming down his face, and you see the double whammy right there by Simon and Williams. I'll tell you, Nate Williams 2 years ago, Sean, he was the most valuable player on this defense, and he had that microfracture surgery last year, which is very difficult to come by.
Maynard might have just had the wind knocked out of him. He's playing behind a remade offensive line. They had a great left tackle last year, Mitchell Schwartz, 4-year starter. He went into the NFL draft and was taken in the second round by Cleveland. Then their entire right side of the offensive line right now is backups because Dominic Gallis, who would have been the right guard, hurt himself weightlifting in July, a torn pec, probably is not going to play this season. Matt Summers-Gavin, the would-be right tackle, hurt himself in the opener with a knee. He has not played the last 2 weeks. So it's a makeshift offensive line trying to protect Zach Maynard.
Zach Maynard probably off to his, well, not probably, most definitely off to his best start so far this year. And Ohio State has been able to create pressure, which they haven't been able to in the first 2 games, about either hitting the quarterback or getting the quarterback on the ground. That's something that Luke Fickell harped on in practice.
There's Alan Bridgeford, who has seen action. As a matter of fact, he started their opener against Nevada as Zach Maynard was held out at the start of that game for missing some tutoring sessions over the summer. And Bridgeford handled the first 3 series. They did not score in that action against the Wolfpack. Safe play for Bridgeford on 3rd and 7. The inside handoff to Sofele. And it'll likely be a punt here for Cal as we tick down to 30 seconds left in the first quarter. So here's Cole Leininger. Taking over this year for Brian Anger, great punter who was drafted in the 3rd round by Jacksonville. This is not a good kick by Leininger, and it bounces back toward him. Van Camparelli downed it, but it's at the Cal 45-yard line. Just an 18-yard punt.
Braxton Miller right here. This is what makes him so dangerous. That little shake and bake at 220 pounds. Sean, I have not seen one player in 2 years covering Braxton Miller catch him from behind. But when he gets this consistent, that dart to Devin Smith, he's really going to be a potential 4,000-yard guy, a 3,000-yard passer. a 1,000-yard rusher, but the playbook needs to be open for him to make those downfield throws, which it has been so far today.
The coaches also say that Miller really needs to be a bit more dedicated in his preparation and film study and all the work it takes to be a top flight quarterback. Miller stripped of the ball as he was pressured and fell on it on the final play of the quarter. Kenny Kafusi stripped it on the way by. It's a loss of 5 on the final play of the first quarter. After 1 here in Columbus, Ohio State leads Cal 13-7. And we welcome you back to ABC's College Football, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. End of 1 quarter, 13-7, Ohio State leading Cal. 157 yards of offense for the Buckeyes in the first quarter. First play of the second quarter is 2nd down and 15 in a quick pass to Nick Vanette, the tight end. It'll be 3rd and 10. Here's Quint Kessenich.
Sean, Cal quarterback Zach Maynard appears to be okay. Walked over to the sideline, took a couple sips of water, took his usual spot on the bench after speaking to head coach Jeff Tedford. No trainers, no doctors, discussing tactics now with Keenan Allen. So it appears as if he'll re-enter the game.
Good news for the Bears. Miller throwing deep again and has his man, Devin Smith. The Buckeye coaches thought they could hurt the Golden Bears deep, and they have. As Steve Williams had tight coverage again, but Smith made the catch.
Well, when you get a connection with a guy, you get a connection with a guy. Right now, Braxton Miller does have that connection with Devin Smith. This time again, read the corner, throw the corner. He's underneath, trailing, throw the ball out there and let Devin Smith go make a play, which he does.
35-yard gain. They've had pass plays of 40, 35, and 25.
Review. The ruling on the field was a catch and a new.
Bill Lamagnier is the referee. It's a Big Ten officiating crew here in Columbus today.
Seems to be tucked against his body. Steve Williams does a good job of not giving up on the play, trying to rake that football out of there and rake the arms.
I guess the only question is right there when he goes to the ground. If you lose sight of the ball, it certainly looked like he had possession when he rolled back over. Didn't see anything to overturn it.
No, not from that angle. Clancy Pendergrass told us, you mentioned they want to play man. That's who they are.
It's called. Have a catch. First down.
But you got to pick and choose, because right now you're 0 for 2, and clearly they're going after Steve Williams and they're staying away from their best corner. What you like is Mark Anthony. So what they might have to do now is take Mark Anthony, adjust him if they're going to play man, and you have to line him up over Devin Smith. That's what you have to do if you want to play man.
Well, I think the Cal coaches think that Corey Brown is the bigger threat. He's been the more productive receiver, certainly entering today's day. Lined up in the backfield. Miller faked it to him, has a hole, and is down to the goal line. And just short. Ohio State players and fans thought it was a score, but they're going to mark him inches from the goal line. Michael Lowe and Chris McCain made the tackle.
And that ball does come out. This is just a counter play, and Corey Brown is the decoy. Zach Warren with a good lead block, and you'll see that ball pop out right there. And Jake Stoneburner popped on it.
And they rolled Miller down before it came out. He has a man wide open. Touchdown. Excellent play called by Tom Herman and well executed. Jake Stoneburner to score.
Jake is known for making touchdown catches. You're right, Sean. Excellent play call. You see Jake Stoneburner, 6'5", just kind of sneaks behind that offensive line because they're all 6'7", hides. You're expecting Zach Bourne. Easy pitch and catch.
Buckeyes have scored touchdowns in each of the last 3 possessions. Took advantage of the short field there after the bad punt by Leininger. And Basil's extra point makes it 20-7. 13.5 to go till halftime here in Columbus. Time for today's Pacific Life game summary. Braxton Miller dual threat, and he is hurting the California Golden Bears with his arm. 124 yards passing already, averages only 181 per game for the year, and 61 yards rushing, including that 55-yard touchdown.
That's what they've been looking for from Braxton, is to show his true potential. And Tom Herman would tell us that he's really a good thrower of the football. And when you can put it together like he is, it's very difficult to defend, because now he's starting to trust the playmakers around him, which I don't know if he did the first 2 games.
Drew Basil kicks off. This one's returnable for Brennan Bigelow. And a nice return. The kicker Basil took him down to the 32. Here's John Anderson.
Thank you, Sean. More of the same in Pittsburgh. The Hokies have dug themselves a huge hole. They turn it over. Pitts got it. And Ray Graham, his second touchdown. 21-0 Panthers. They scored 27 points the first 2 weeks. Sean.
Wow. Well, Virginia Tech's out of the history in recent years of those surprising early season losses.
Surprised to see 21 on that Bud Foster defense, which we saw in the opener, which was outstanding.
Long way to go there in Pittsburgh. Here's Zach Maynard back in. And off to a solid start. Leading with 7 out of 9 for 71 yards and a touchdown. They're down by 2 touchdowns. C.J. Anderson couldn't get away from Bradley Roby. He's had an outstanding first half for the Buckeyes. It would have been a little bit better had he hung on to that interception and run it back for a score. He had a great chance to do not long ago.
Well, the perception out there that the Big Ten is slew-footed or slow, I think that can apply to some teams, but not to this Ohio State defense, which is always outstanding with speed.
Well, it was certainly a very rough week last week for the Big Ten, particularly in the head-to-head competition with the Pac-12. And timeout called by California.
Now. First team timeout.
12:41 to go, first half. Buckeyes up by 13.
ESPN's College Football on ABC, brought to you by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes cereal. They're great. And MetLife. I can do this.
Well, these two schools met in rugby last night in the Buckeyes Sevens Invitational. The Golden Bears defeated Ohio State 15-5. They'll play Navy in the championship game of that event here.
Navy's good. I watch that. They're really good.
Second down and 9 for Zach Maynard and Cal. Pulls it down and gets wrapped up and thrown down behind the line of scrimmage by Garrett Goebel. Third sack of the day for the Buckeyes, matching their total of the first 2 games combined.
This is a team pass rush. What I mean by that, watch the ends. They're going to get pressure with Williams and Simon, and Goebel does a good job of just power rushing, keeping his eyes on the quarterback, falling off the block. There is such a thing as team pass rushing. You saw it right there.
Certainly the return of Nathan Williams helps. Senior defensive end, number 43. Third down, 13. Time for Maynard, had to dump it short, and C.J. Anderson was tripped up in space by Ryan Shazier. He got nowhere near the first down marker. Got to the 35, 4th and 7. And a punt upcoming for California. Ohio State, very little action behind the line of scrimmage in the first 2 games defensively. Not the case today.
Talked to Luke about that, Fickle and Everett Withers, and they said that's just an excuse about guys getting rid of the ball fast. They said we have to do a better job, and they've executed that today.
Freshman Leininger, much better punt this time after an 18-yarder. His last ever. Corey Brown spun away from the first man, but could not get away from the second. Maybe Sebastian made the tackle. Let's take a look at today's Aflac trivia question. We want to know how many times have Ohio State and Cal met in the Rose Bowl.
A tough one.
This is the 7th meeting all time. We'll give him a little clue. So it is 6 or less is the correct answer.
Way to go, Sean.
Braxton Miller having an excellent first half. Jordan Hall gets about a yard and a half. Clint Kesnick mentioned his injury. He stepped on glass in his apartment over the summer and cut a tendon in his foot, required surgery. He was out for about 10 weeks. Flag down on the play. I believe it might be a late hit against Corey Lindsley, the center from Youngstown.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 71. It was after the play. The down counts. Second down.
That's something that'll drive Coach Meyer nuts. Self-inflicted wounds. Corey Lindsley is a tough physical guy, and we took exception. You just have to let that go. A lot of times those little DBs are like gnats. They'll bait those big offensive linemen to get them to pop them a little headbutt. All of a sudden, yellow flag comes flying.
Michael Lowe was the Cal defender involved in that. 2nd and 21. Miller out of the gun. Zings one to the near side. Another drop. Well, Devin Smith, maybe he should try to catch the ball with one hand all the time, because he had one of the spectacular catches of the early college football season in their opener against Miami in the back of the end zone with a leaping one-handed grab. He's had a hard time catching it with two hands today.
I think if you're Tom Herman, you're encouraged, though, because Braxton Miller is seeing the field and he's throwing the ball on target as opposed to holding it. The ball jumped on Devin in a hurry. As soon as his head turned, the ball was there.
Pistol formation. Cal saw a lot of that in the opener against Nevada. Chris Ault, the Wolfpack coach, invented the pistol. Very conservative call on 3rd and forever. 1-yard gain for Hall. If you didn't see it, here it is. Ohio State and Miami of Ohio, September 1st. Braxton Miller to Devin Smith. Just one hand to snatch it. Second quarter. Back corner of the end zone. 23-yard score. First score of the season for Ohio State.
Well, they were struggling until that play. Then they kind of caught fire after that.
And Buchanan punts. They've done a good job of forcing fair catches by Keenan Allen. That one at the 40-yard line. 45-yard punt by the graduate student Buchanan. 3 times all Big Ten academically. How many times have Ohio State and Cal met in the Rose Bowl? You want to guess?
I'll say 2.
Anybody else, I would have said you cheated, but you're such an honest guy. Twice is correct. 1921 and 1950. 1921, Cal won 28-0 to finish a perfect 8-0 season. They outscored their opponents that year 5-10 to 14. They met again in 1950. The Buckeyes won by 3. Curly Morrison ran for 113 yards in the win. Maynard ahead for a 1-yard gain. The crowd thought the play was dropped well behind the line of scrimmage. Brendan Bigelow, but he didn't have the ball. Maynard did, and he got a yard.
But that's discipline on the defensive side of the ball. Nathan Williams understanding that he has any threat to the outside. Don't worry about what's happening inside. Do your job first. And he executed that well. He's a big addition to this defense, especially when you have Simon on the other end. Those are 2 speed guys you need to worry about.
Maynard throws, caught, first down. Good job by Keenan Allen to stay on his feet with a throw that was about knee high. The flag down back in the offensive backfield, however.
It's going to be on Nathan Williams. You see Urban Meyer will address that vigorously, I promise.
Following the play, personal foul, 43 defense. Personal foul, 20 offense. Those two penalties cancel. The play resulted in a first down.
Sofele, number 20, Nathan Williams, number 43 in red, get into it. And one thing about Sofele, he will not back down. Tough guy. And I don't see where Sofele was really wrong right there. Well, because that was a bad call. That should be 15 for the Cal Bears.
They're out to midfield. 9.5 to go first half. 13-point lead for Ohio State. Three different players signal in the play. Marcus Royal, the quarterback coach, calls the plays. A lot of help from Jeff Tedford. And Jim Mahalchik, the offensive coordinator and line coach. A hard-earned yard or two for E.C. Sofele. Orion Johnson and Ryan Shazier made the tackle.
The problem with the young offensive line when you're playing a team like Ohio State is that Ohio State goes about 10 deep on their defensive line. We asked Everett Withers about that yesterday. He said, I don't want to play 10. You want to find 6 or 7 that you go with so they get into a rhythm. But fresh bodies coming at you can wear you down up front.
Ryan Schwenke had some low snaps. He's a converted guard, moved to center this year. That's a good snap. Maynard throws, and good reaction by Bradley Roby on the tackle of C.J. Anderson. Roby's 6th tackle. He's had a sack. He's had a pass breakup. Had a very good first half. Sophomore from Sewanee, Georgia.
To be optimistic, to be a Golden Bear fan, is this: you are moving the football, and Maynard's playing well. So you're in it. So stay with your game plan.
3rd and 7. Maynard, great catch by C.J. Anderson, and lots of running room. He's going to go all the way. There is a flag at the 20-yard line. Crowd wanted a holding call, I think, downfield on a Cal blocker. 47 yards of it stands. Well, there is a flag at the 20. And when you hear 100,000 people screaming all at once and calling for a flag, it's probably a pretty obvious hold.
Holding. Offense, number 84. 10-yard penalty. Spot of the foul. First down.
Let's see where his hands are. The hands have to be inside. Usually if the hands are inside, they'll let it go. Right here is Jacob Wark, number 84. Let's see where the hands are. Looks like the hands are inside. Again, I mean, that's a benefit of the call that goes to Ohio State's way. When your hands are inside, that's good formation right there, and he gives him a little push. The only thing, if you're Jacob, what you want to tell him is C.J. Anderson has the ball. Let him go.
Yeah, he didn't really need the block, it seemed, at that point. He was going to go anyway. So wipes out a 47-yard touchdown, but it is a first down to the 29. Maynard throws. Good catch by his brother Keenan Allen, who got clothesline. He wanted a flag, and I think he's going to get it. Storm Klein and Travis Howard combined to take down Allen up around the head.
Well, Maynard took a shot again, which brought a flag down by John Simon, who they're having a hard time keeping out of there. And
Howard ripped him down by the face mask, so this should be tacked on to the end of the play.
When you're called out for lack of pass rush, this isn't surprising that you're getting questionable hits or late hits on a quarterback, because the pressure's on by the quarterback, the press, by the coaches, everybody in your locker room to start getting to the quarterback. When they're due, they're making poor decisions when they get there.
And 2 flags, apparently both against the Buckeyes.
2 fouls on the play, both against Ohio State. Personal foul, roughing the passer, 54. That penalty's declined. Personal foul, face mask, 7 defense, half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
First of all, it starts with a strike.
That's a very late hit. You can see they were still running at Maynard well after he delivered, and no question about that. They ripped Allen down by the face mask. So they're back at the 10. Trying to get within one score. High formation, and now a look to the sideline by Maynard midway through the second quarter. Eric Stevens leading the way for E.C. Savelli, who's in trouble behind the line and dumped back at the 12 by C.J. Barnett, the safety, junior from Dayton, Ohio.
Run support, C.J. Barnett being aggressive against the run. So if you do have a little play action off of that, you see safeties getting that nosy. That's where you want to sneak a tight end right behind them.
Barnett led their team in tackles last year. After 9 straight years when a linebacker had led them in tackles. Not a good situation when your safety's leading your team in tackles. Second and goal from the 12. Maynard, quarterback draw, good call. Looked like he was juggling the ball with nobody around him. There's a flag down in the middle of the offensive line. Etienne Sabino made the tackle.
Big John Hankins was in the middle of that flag, and sometimes you have to hold him to block him.
Holding. 73 offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Second down.
The redshirt freshman Jordan Rigsby, the left guard, who lines up next to his brother Tyler Rigsby, the left tackle, 77.
Big Hankins gets inside, and that hand gets behind. Anytime you get that hand behind, they're going to call that every time. Usually give you a little more leeway on running plays, but not when you bear hug them. That was a good tackle by Rigsby, actually.
Jordan Rigsby's a redshirt freshman. His brother is a senior, the left tackle. Now they're back at the 22, second and goal. Another low snap by Schwenke. Bubble screen again. Bryce Treggs, true freshman from Inglewood, one of the top wide receiver recruits in the country, with his first catch today. 7th of the year. His dad was a terrific wide receiver at Cal back in the late 80s and early 90s.
That low snap disrupts the timing of the route. It's a little late getting there, which allows the defense to react and limit the yards gained after catch.
Third and goal. They are in field goal range at the 17-yard line. Williams, good speed rush, didn't get there. Wark with that huge holding penalty gets planted, driven back and sent to the ground. There are more flags on the play. Orion Johnson and Travis Howard attached Wark to the turf.
Etienne Sabino's helmet comes flying off. As Chris Adcock, I believe, will get called for this. That's what Cal's done their first 2 games, Sean. That's why they're 1-1, because they've self-inflicted wounds, penalties. You can't do that against a good Ohio State football team.
There are 3 flags on the play, but they were all thrown at almost the exact same spot. Jeff Tedford's been talking about it all season long. The penalties have been the biggest problem.
Following the play, dead ball, unnecessary roughness, 58 offense. That foul caused the helmet player to come off on the defense. He may remain in the game. 4th down.
It was Chris Adcock, the sophomore right guard, going to make it a much longer field goal attempt, you would think.
Here comes Adcock late into the play. It was Etienne Sabino. I don't see the personal foul.
It really was helmet to helmet,
but I believe
lowered his helmet.
But it looked like
his chin.
To me, it looked like Etienne lowered his helmet. That's incidental contact. He's not launching. He's downfield getting a block for his guy. Another call going the Buckeyes' way. 3 of them so far.
40-yard field goal attempt by D'Amato, and it is way off. Vincenzo pulls it wide left. There's another flag down. This has been a very feisty game between 2 teams that haven't played each other in 40 years, so there isn't any lingering bad blood from matchups in recent times.
Holding, 84 offense. offense. That penalties decline. The field goal was no good.
Still like to see the day when there's just one group of officials for all of college football, because when you have to say things like it's a Big Ten officiating crew in a non-conference game, sometimes there's implications that there should not be. Tonight, 4 undefeated teams highlight ESPN's primetime college football doubleheader. First at 6 Eastern. Number 18, Florida. Number 23, Tennessee. They're fired up for that one in Knoxville. And at 9:15 Eastern, number 14, Texas, rolling into the Grove to face Ole Miss. Florida, Tennessee, Texas, Ole Miss tonight on ESPN. Also live on Watch ESPN. Buckeye ball after Cal had the ball for 4 minutes and 55 seconds. Did not score. Steve Williams chopped down Nick Vanette right away after a 1-yard gain.
A good tackle. Could have been a bigger play. I think it could have been a pick 6. He's going down. If he reads it and trusts his read, he steps in front of Vanette and is dancing in the end zone. Another opportunity missed.
Under 5 to go, first half. Ohio State leading 20-7. And flags flying on almost every play now.
Ball start, 71 offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Called on the center, Corey Lindsley.
Sometimes those centers get a little antsy, especially after you had a little personal foul call on you. Get back in the action.
Then they line up Corey Brown, primarily a wide receiver, in the backfield. Ohio State coaches want to see how Cal's going to line up defensively when there are already 3 wide receivers spread out. Inside handoff to Jordan Hall. He lunged forward to the 22. It'll be another 3rd down and long for Ohio State.
Just to build on that point, when he does go in motion, how they find out is the corner comes to take him, then they know it's man. But if they roll or rotate a defensive back or safety or a linebacker out to him, then they know it's zone. It's a good offensive philosophy to have, and Cal tries to do that, although we have not seen it today with Keenan Allen.
They'll line him up in the backfield from time to time. Empty backfield here. Braxton Miller on 3rd down and 11. 4-man rush, didn't get close to him, but the throw's underneath, well short of a first down. Zach Boren, the fullback, made the catch. Tackled immediately by Chris McCain. So good work by the Golden Bear defense, forcing a 3-and-out.
Braxton went back to pass with a receiver in mind to throw to. Didn't even look the field, didn't scan the field. He already preset in his mind where he was going to go. It cost the Buckeyes a chance for a first down.
Well, Keenan Allen hasn't had a chance to return a punt, as Ben Buchanan's done a very nice job hanging them high and forcing fair catches. There's another fair catch at the 32. We'll mark it at the 33. That's where Cal takes over when we come back. Well, it's Hall of Fame weekend here on the campus of Ohio State University. 12 former student athletes enshrined. Last night, the honored at halftime on the field here, including Bob Knight. Played basketball in the late 50s and early 60s. He's being honored for lifetime achievement. Another low snap. Zach Maynard throws quickly. Keenan Allen makes the catch. Short of a first down, they get to the 42-yard line. Cal has 2 timeouts left. Another low snap. So Fele got walloped, but he might have the first down, hit by Nathan Williams, who's been very active today after sitting out last week with the knee injury.
Last week when he did get that knee, he was more scared because he's got a helmet on it. Just a bruise. Every time you get a knee injury, you're always concerned every time you get it popped.
Bears inches short of the first down. They give it to the fullback, who goes popping through and across midfield. Eric Stevens, senior from San Pedro, California, to the 47-yard line of the Buckeyes. First down. 11-yard gain.
You want to go a little tempo right now. If you're Cal, defensive line standing up. They're a little tired. Want to get after it.
Even with that 11-yard gain, just 42 yards rushing in the half for Cal. Maynard on target. Keenan Allen slipped down. Tried to stay on his feet, could not. No gain on the play, and the clock running under 2 minutes left in the half.
That's twice he slipped in this ball game. I mean, if he has the ball in his hands and the ball was good where you can make that transition from catch to run, he's dangerous, but he's not helping himself by being an athlete and keeping your feet underneath you.
6 catches for Allen. Another low snap. Maynard zips one incomplete. Intended for Bryce Treggs and broken up by Travis Howard.
Good break on the ball right here as Bradley Robley comes in, gets that right hand across and keeping that left hand out. The receiver does have to turn his hands out as opposed to upside down. Go snatch it. Don't wait for it.
The ball was thrown a little more ahead of the receiver, probably a completion. 3rd down and 10. Pressure and another sack. Flag down to the line of scrimmage. Ryan Shazier, the sack if it stands. Urban Meyer talking about how pathetic the pass rush has been for Ohio State in the first 2 games. Not the case today.
Well, anytime you can have different guys.
Illegal formation. Offense. 5 in the backfield. That penalty's been declined. 4th down.
Participate in your pass rush, and this is what we have not seen so far this year, is Ryan Shazier running up as a blitzer from the outside. Now he's blitzed from the inside but not from the outside, and he just beats big number 77 Tyler Rigsby with speed.
Cole Leininger, the punter. Short, but it took a good Cal bounce. Oh, Corey Brown jumping on it, taking a risk. He didn't want the ball to go any closer to the goal line, but in doing so, you certainly risk mishandling the punt. And some woofing with Michael Lowe. 42-yard punt coming up at the half. Stay tuned. John Anderson, Jesse Palmer, the Cooper Tires halftime report. Scores and highlights from the early action today from around college football. Among the big stories, Virginia Tech way behind early at Pittsburgh. You'll have a preview of tonight's Notre Dame Michigan State game. See how Ohio State plays it. They have all 3 timeouts. Poor field position and only 1 minute and 11 left in the half. Miller stopped at the 17-yard line by Alex Logan, who got faked out of his shoes on Miller's 55-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, that time Alex did a good job of breaking down, not going for any shimmy shams, just staying focused and controlled and doing a good job of an open field tackle on an elusive target like Braxton Miller.
It looks like Ohio State will be content to run as much time off as it can here.
That's a good decision by Coach Meyer. Usually it depends on field position whether you start taking chances or not.
Jordan Hall has a first down, and he got knocked down. A sturdy hit at the 29-yard line. Alex Logan, Brennan Scarlett combined. And the clock runs. They don't have to snap it again. It looks like they won't. They're heading to the locker room. Braxton Miller, 6 carries, 64 yards and a touchdown. 10 out of 14 passing for 129 and 2 touchdowns. Here's Quint Kesnick.
Coach, how have you gone about creating pressure on the quarterback?
Which we're first of all beating our D linemen are beating some guys, and then we're sending some more pressure we have in the past.
What's going on with the penalties?
Just ignorant penalties. That's something we got to get squared away. There's nothing good about a penalty, especially ones we had.
Yeah, how do you balance playing with your hair on fire versus making a stupid foul?
Don't be stupid. I mean, we got to get that corrected.
Thanks, Coach.
That's why he's won a lot of games. 82% of them, in fact. Don't be stupid. A lesson for us all. 13-point lead for his Buckeyes at the half. Stay tuned. John, Jesse, and the Cooper Tires halftime report after these messages.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Woo!
And we welcome you back to ABC's College Football presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. Halftime, Ohio State here in Columbus leading Cal 20-7. We welcome you back. Sean McDonough and Chris Spielman rejoined shortly by Quint Kesnick. The lead for the Buckeyes, despite the fact that Cal had a 7-minute edge in time of possession. What do you look for in the second half?
Well, I think for Cal, do what you do. I mean, they had a touchdown taken away by a questionable holding call. They also had a field goal miss, but their offense is moving the football, and you got to quit making the silly mistakes, which they've been plagued by the first two games. Ohio State keep the pressure on. Braxton Miller's been outstanding. Just play your game and take advantage of what you do as far as game planning. The plan you have seems to be working. Stay with it.
Cal will get the ball first here in the second half. Reed Basil to kick it off. Brennan Bigelow and Mike Manuel back deep. Bigelow started the day second in the Pac-12 in kickoff returns behind only Marquise Lee of USC, who brought one back for a touchdown against Hawaii in the Trojans opener. This is Bigelow, and he did well to get across the 20. Out of bounds at the 22. Here's a look at our Pacific Life game summary.
Braxton Miller's been outstanding both throwing and running. He's 10 for 14 in the first half throwing the football. Very easily could have been 13 for 14. He had some couple drops. This is why Cal is still in it, because of the play of Zach Maynard. Been on target. And really one thing Cal does need to do, and we'll see if they'll get it fixed, a lot of their plays and the timing of the play have been disrupted with the poor snaps. They're low snaps, and the play's been disrupted as far as the receivers and the timing between the quarterback and the ball catchers. But their game plan is pretty solid against Ohio State. They've had chances, can't capitalize.
They rushed for only 34 yards, but the sack totals come off the rushing yardage, and the pass incomplete. Intended for Darius Powell. There were 4 sacks of Zach Maynard in the first half, and Ohio State also had 2 other tackles behind the line of scrimmage. So 6 plays from scrimmage run by Cal were stopped for a loss. Maynard 16 out of 20. We've seen a couple that could have been caught, but he's also thrown a couple of errant balls that required nice catches by his receivers. It's not as accurate as you want him to be on those short and intermediate throws, despite the high percentage today. Maynard, that time they picked up the rusher, and he got it off. Deep down the field, Darius Powell. He's all the way to the 42-yard line of Ohio State. Here's Quint.
When Cal has been able to protect their quarterback, they've had success. Talking to Jeff Tedford at halftime, he says the inability to protect their quarterback has been killer. 4 sacks, look for quick releases and max protections.
36-yard gain, back to the run. They got up there quickly. E.C. Sofele ran for 50 yards in the first half. Tackled by Garrett Goebel and Jonathan Hanks, the middle of that Ohio State front 4.
Sofele made the play on the last long reception by coming across and picking off Orion Johnson to allow Zach Maynard to deliver that long ball. So that's what they're talking about. Pass protection executed, the adjustment at halftime.
I think those coaches spent a lot of time on working to contend with the Ohio State rush. Second and 6. Sofele bounced it outside, banged forward for a yard, tackled by Ryan Shazier. His 7th tackle to lead the Ohio State defense.
Sophomore, great nose for the football, instinctive, really consistent.
Perhaps 4-down territory here, really not in field goal range for Vincenzo D'Amato. 3rd down and 6 from the 38. Maynard, a lot of time, and it's off the hands of his receiver. Nothing wrong with that throw. It just wasn't caught by C.J. Anderson.
Again, we talked about they were plagued by this in the first half. This is just a little called an F angle with the back coming right out of the back, sitting in front of the linebackers. Would have easily had the first down. Coming into a hostile place against a good team, when you have an opportunity to make a play, you don't make a play, you're not going to win the game.
Looked like Anderson was turning his head to see if he was going to get hit. 4th down and 6. And it's caught, but it looks to be short of the first down. Maynard on target to Keenan Allen, but they're going to mark him a yard short. Etienne Sabino made the tackle, and Ohio State will take over on downs.
It's on Keenan Allen. Completely on Keenan Allen. He has to know where the first down marker is. You have to run to the sticks and work your way back, or run past the sticks to work your way out, especially if you have a matchup on a linebacker. You see him inside the number 3 receiver counting from the outside right here. Run to the sticks, then bring it back. Let's see where he sits his route down. See, he has Sabino coming on him. He's short of the sticks. You got to go press that linebacker, work to the sticks, and you get the first down. You're a big, strong guy. You have that matchup on him. Take advantage of it.
So the Bears are 0 for 2 on 4th down today. Jordan Hall took the pitch from Braxton Miller and got out to the 37. Steve Williams and Brennan Scarlett made the tackle.
Trusting others, Sean. We talked to Tommy Herman, and yesterday the offensive coordinator said Braxton Miller says, well, I trust me. Well, he's starting to trust Jordan Hall. That was his comfort zone last year. Now he's back in the backfield. That seems to be his comfort zone, at least today.
Option to the near side of the field. He does pitch it. Trust Jordan Hall. And understandably so. 1st down and much more, nearly to the 50-yard line, out at the 49, shoved out by Alex Logan, an 11-yard gain for Jordan Hall.
Watch Braxton's eyes as he comes at you down the line of scrimmage. Number 5 right there. Sees that defensive end coming toward him. He says, let me go ahead and make a play and let somebody else make a play. And then when I get a block by Jake Stoneburner, who's been called out by his coaches to play better, you're going to get positive yards.
Miller threw quickly to Devin Smith, and good reaction by Chris McCain, outside linebacker, dropping the play at the line of scrimmage. Flag down, line of scrimmage, far side of the field. Illegal motion against Ohio State. They'll probably turn it down.
Illegal motion. Offense number 10. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
I guess they won't. They stopped the play for no gain. Would have been 2nd and 10. They'll take 1st and 15 instead. So the ball back to the 44-yard line. Ohio State on its home field. They've won 59 straight regular season home games against non-conference opponents that are unranked. They lost to an unranked non-conference team since 1982 here. Corey Brown with a flag down to the backfield. He's down at the line of scrimmage. Brennan Scarlett made a nice play defensively for the Golden Bears.
What the Cal Bears do, Sean, they're playing.
Illegal block in the back. 77 offense. 10 yards from the previous spot. Still first down.
A double eagle defense. That's 2-3 techniques. 2 defensive tackles lined up over the guard to take away any type of inside running. You have the 3 middle offensive linemen covered up. Then you bring your safeties up on the line of scrimmage, and you're able to get penetration and cause one-on-one blocks with the defensive line. That's their adjustment out of halftime. They were more basic the first half. The second half, they're coming out in more the 46 look or the double eagle look.
Reed Fragel called for the illegal block. 1st and 25. A little bubble screen. Corey Brown back to the 39-yard line. Reed Fragel, flagged on the previous play, was a tight end last year, and he embraced the move to tackle. They think he might have an NFL future, but he's 310 pounds, and the coaches say he's still about 8% body fat.
Yeah, that's insane. Good athlete, obviously, from tight end. Being able to move inside.
6'8", 310 pounds. Miller. He heard the coaches when they said he should trust his teammates a little bit more and hand it off more, because he's certainly done that today. Hall stopped almost immediately by Robert Mullins. They need to get to the Cal 41-yard line for a first down. They're at their own 41.
Yeah, the defensive end that he's reading is doing a good job of not committing, which makes that read for the quarterback difficult, because he does not know whether to give it or keep it. Last week, when in doubt, he kept it. This week, when in doubt, he's giving it to Jordan Hall.
Yeah, 27 carries last week, the school quarterback record in their win over UCF. He's had just 6 carries today. One of them was for 55 and a touchdown. Deep wobbly throw over the head of Devin Smith and almost picked off by Mark Anthony.
That was the adjustment we talked about. What Cal need to do on defense. Take Williams, number 1, off of Devin Smith and put Mark Anthony, their best cover guy, on Devin Smith. You're going to give away what you're doing defensively, but you're going to get good, solid coverage, as witnessed.
There's Ben Buchanan, already graduated, working on a master's in sports administration. A nice job punting today, and it's going to be another fair catch. There hasn't been a return yet. Another Ben Buchanan punts. Keenan Allen with the fair catch.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio.
Sean McDonough, Chris Spielman, Clint Kesnick. Back at Ohio Stadium, the Horseshoe. Ohio State trying to go to 3-0 on the year. Cal comes in at 1-1. 20-7, the Buckeyes lead. 9:48 to go, third quarter. Another low snap. Zach Maynard managed to hand it off to Brendan Bigelow. Wow, what a run, and he's still up, and he can fly. They're not going to get him. Brendan Bigelow, touchdown, Cal, 81 yards.
Effort, never quitting. And the guys not running to the football to make a difference. Poor angles by Ohio State. We were warned of Bigelow's speed. Right there was witnessed. Just a double spin move. You wonder why you do all these running back drills at home. Put your hand on the ground, do whirly-derby number 2, and you're off to the races. But that was a poor effort on Ohio State's defense. Bad angles and not running to finish the play.
Bigelow, a sophomore from Fresno, had just 2 carries for 15 yards in their first 2 games of the season. Takes that one 81. Vincenzo D'Amato the extra point, and it's a 1-score game. 9.5 to go, third quarter. The Bears back in the game in the blink of an eye.
ESPN's College Football on ABC, brought to you by Hyundai. Go online and show your loyalty to your school at HyundaiShowYourLoyalty.com. And Best Buy.
Last night at the Ohio Union, 12 former Buckeyes enshrined into the Ohio State Athletics Hall of Fame, including Bob Knight, Mike Vrabel, who's now a member of the coaching staff here. I'm going to guess Bob Knight is never going to wear a tie again. Have one on going to the Hall of Fame. Won't wear one when he's on our air. He's just not going to put a tie on.
Lucky guy. What if I try that?
Brendan Bigelow. Just his 9th career carry. He takes it 81 yards, his first carry today. Longest play of the year for the California Golden Bears. It gets them within 6. Now that missed extra point looms large by Ohio State after the game's first touchdown. Bryante Dunn, the true freshman, brings the kickoff out to the 22. Let's take a look at today's good hands play, brought to you by Allstate, and it's different type of good hands play than we usually have. This time he used his hands well to stay on his feet.
Really good job of not quitting on a play, and a poor job of Ryan Shazier not wrapping up, coming in and trying to, I don't know, get a big knockout hit by sticking your head down and diving through the air, which will not happen. Secure the tackle. Your Allstate good hands play.
And certainly a contender to be a Sports Center top 10 highlight. Miller banged as he threw it. And it threw the play off. Zach Boren, the intended receiver, but Chris McCain hit Miller as he was winding up to throw.
Something people don't talk about. A lot of time when your offense scores or makes a big play, you know what happens? Then your defensive coordinator gets a little bit more aggressive, just to try to keep that momentum and capitalize on the excitement of the team. They're still in that double eagle look, getting those one-on-one matchups inside.
Ohio State scored its 3 touchdowns on 3 consecutive possessions. Miller forced to reverse his field, has nowhere to go. Brennan Scarlett credited with the tackle. Here's Robert Flores.
Hey, Sean, TCU on the road playing their first game as a member of the Big 12, taking on Kansas. Casey Paul Hall to Brandon Carter. And right now, number 16 TCU leading 17-6. Make that 20-6. Meantime, in Nebraska, head coach Bo Pelini, battling the flu, has not joined his team for the second half. You can watch that game against Arkansas State on ESPN2.
As competitive as Bo is, if he's not back out there in the field, you know he really does not feel well. Braxton Miller on 3rd and 11, and it's incomplete. Stoneburner was open, and that's been a big story on both sides. Drop balls and receivers who are open, and the throw was just a little bit off.
The recognition of zone defense is there because Mark Anthony, number 2's not lined up over Devin Smith. Keeps his eyes downfield and does not deliver an open man. Again, plays that have to be made in big, tight ball games. Not made there. Chalk it up. One to remember.
After scoring 3 straight possessions, they've gone 5 possessions in a row now without scoring. Good punt by Buchanan. Keenan Allen's going to try to return this one. He's dropped for a loss. Maybe the fair catch is better. Joshua Perry, the nice play on the punt coverage there. They have 2 number 15s. It was Perry. Here's the lineup tonight. ABC, ESPN, and ESPN2 kicking off an important game every hour in prime time, starting at 6 with that Florida-Tennessee battle. Arizona State and Missouri. 7 on ESPN2 at 8 Eastern on ABC. Notre Dame, Michigan State, 9:15. ESPN, Texas Ole Miss, and at 10 on ESPN2, BYU and Utah. Great rivalry game. From the 15-yard line after a 55-yard punt, a 9-yard loss on the return. AC Sofeli, you can see the life in the step of these Cal Bears after the long touchdown run by Bigelow that got them within 1 score.
His confidence growing, and one of the criticisms we talked about in the first half, and I think the defense needs it right now, is the energy of the crowd. We're not filling it up here in the booth. They got to make the plays to create the energy.
8-yard gain. Second and 2. Zach Maynard out of the gun. Pulls it down to run and gets leveled by Shazier.
Designed quarterback sweep. Shazier coming in. And it's a great hit and all that. The last time he did that, he missed the tackle and the guy went 1,000 yards. This time he does it, it pays off. Just be careful. Wrap him up. You're never wrong if you wrap up.
On 3rd and 4, Maynard ran out of time, got it off, caught by C.J. Anderson, still on his feet. And horse collared down at the 50-yard line, the Ohio State 49 by Shazier. 29 yards. They convert on 3rd down and 4.
They had it last series, so they're going to come back to it, and they're going to trust that C.J. Anderson makes the play. Maynard under pressure. Throws a short ball that's catchable, and C.J. Anderson matched up with Etienne Sabino, beat him one-on-one to the inside. He's out the gate.
Anderson worked very hard in his nutrition to lose weight, got in much better shape, has dropped some weight. You can see it in his running. Nothing there for E.C. Cifelli. Garrett Goebel, Curtis Grant combining on the tackle for Ohio State. More than midway through the 3rd quarter now. The Buckeyes led 20-7 at the half. Now it's Cal trying to drive and take the lead. The 81-yard touchdown run by Bigelow for Coach Tedford, the longest by a Cal player since 2009. Javid Best went 93 for a score at UCLA. Maynard threw it away. Under pressure, didn't have a man open, threw it over the head of Chris Harper, who was covered by Orion Johnson.
Interesting, Sean, to see Luke Fickell's counter to get excitement in your defense, or trying to create a big play for your defense to get that enthusiasm. You start bringing pressure packages. A good decision by Maynard to launch that one into the stands for a souvenir.
They just converted on 3rd and 4. This is 3rd and 10. Pressured and sacked. They rushed 4, but Simon didn't need any other help. He went right around the left end for the 5th sack of the ball game for Ohio State.
Low man always wins. When you're the low man, you're going to see John Simon come and beat him with speed and leverage. Look at the pad level right there, the little dip and rip. And when you're a big guy like Rigsby, you can't get down there to match John Simon's speed and acceleration off the edge.
Terrific player, 2-time captain at Ohio State, just the 8th 2-time Ohio State football captain. It looked for a moment like Corey Brown was going to field that punt inside the 10. He let it go over his head. And the Buckeyes will start at the 20-yard line, hanging on now to a 6-point lead. Well, there's a look at the Lombardi Award won by our own Chris Spielman in 1987. One of many displays in the football building here at Ohio State, honoring our friend, colleague, former All-American. They have a display case honoring those who've gone on to broadcasting. And look at the big picture of you, and then Kirk Street, you're dwarfing Herbie even on the broadcasting board there.
Too bad the paychecks don't reflect that video right there.
Chris's alma mater now clinging to a 6-point lead. Momentum seems to have shifted in favor of Cal after the 81-yard touchdown run. Jordan Hall, the ball carrier. Curious, Chris, to get your general thoughts. You live here. Obviously, you remain very close to the program. Urban Meyer's become a friend after you worked with him in broadcasting last year. Where do you think they are right now? Psychologically, have the folks in the program recovered from all the stuff that happened last year?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're focused on trying to win every game this year and win a regular Big Ten season title. They're on track. Urban believes they're nowhere close to where they can be, and I tend to agree with him.
They're not bowl eligible, nor can they play in the Big Ten championship game this year. Miller goes down. Todd Barr, redshirt freshman, very highly recruited player out of Lakewood, California, made the stop. And Chris McCain is injured again. Came out of the game earlier. Looks like a leg injury this time. From Greensboro, North Carolina. That's where Maynard and Allen hail from. They didn't just decide to come to Cal together. They brought along 3 buddies from home, including McCain.
He's an important part of their defense. Smart, heady player, always in the right spot. Rangy.
It's a cramp.
Yeah, hopefully it's a cramp for young Chris's sake. But at 6'6", he gives that width on the edge that you like from an outside pass rusher, outside linebacker.
You wouldn't expect it to be a cramp kind of day here. It's not hot. Temperature is 68 at kickoff. Might be a little bit warmer than that. He's going to limp off. Here's Quint Kesnick.
Well, it was Chris McCain who actually got sick to his stomach early in this ball game. Threw up on the field. Told me he ate too many oranges. They gave him a shot or two of Pepto-Bismol, and he was fine. So that does look like cramping. And let me tell you, McCain's an energy guy for this team. During halftime, he came over to me and said, "Mark my words, we're coming back in this ball game." This is a guy who's really well liked by his teammates, now dealing with some dehydration and cramping issues.
It'll be a big loss if he has to stay out. A lot of times once you get behind in the hydration part of it, it's tough to get it back right. 3rd and 11. Miller forced to scramble. Throws it out of bounds in the general direction of Stoneburner. So the Cal defense with another 3 and out, as Ohio State's had only 21 yards of offense here in the 3rd quarter.
Outstanding adjustments by Clancy Pendergrass, the defensive coordinator. The adjustments made, they're playing a little bit more zone, and also they go to the double eagle look to get the one-on-one matchups between the guard, center, and guard and their 3 interior defensive linemen. It's worked so far.
Ben Buchanan punts. Keenan Allen runs up to make the catch at the 43-yard line. Well, tomorrow afternoon on ESPN, the chase for the Sprint Cup begins. Jimmy Johnson is eyeing his 6th title. Can he hold off the regular season points leader, Denny Hamlin? Will Tony Stewart make a move, win his 2nd straight championship? Chase for the Sprint Cup begins with the Geico 400 at Chicago, presented by Tire Rack. Tomorrow, 1 Eastern on the ESPN. Hamlin, the points leader, with Jimmy Johnson right behind.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. up at our worldwide headquarters in Bristol this past week. Big football fan, big Redskins fan.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of friends, everybody in Bristol was talking about what a nice guy Dale Earnhardt Jr. was and is. Zach Maynard out of the shotgun. About a 7-minute edge in time of possession for the Golden Bears. Maynard got 3. Started his career at the University of Buffalo. Was a starting quarterback there as a sophomore in 2009, but then his coach Turner Gill left to become the head coach at Kansas. So Maynard decided he wanted to transfer. He had been to summer camps out at Cal and liked it. And they became a lot more interested in having Maynard transfer in when they realized if they took him, Keenan Allen, his brother, would come with him. Allen was in high school, one of the top recruits in the country. Chris Harper the catch. He has a first down across midfield to the 47-yard line. Keenan Allen was heading to Alabama, perhaps to even play defense. But once he had the chance to go with his brother, they're extremely close. They decided to go together to Cal. And Jeff Tedford is mighty glad they did. 162 career catches now for Allen. He passed Deshaun Jackson on Cal's all-time reception list today for 6th place all-time. He'll be their all-time leading receiver when this season is over if he stays healthy. Jeff MacArthur, their all-time leader in receptions. So Felly got a yard, yanked down by big Jonathan Hankins at 332 pounds.
When you get Nathan Williams back, they tried to play Jonathan Hankins a little bit out at the defensive end position. Boy, he's much stronger, much more of a disruptive force when he's playing inside. Right there, it's very difficult to handle one-on-one, as we just saw. Great feet for a big man, Sean.
2nd and 9. Design rolled out by Maynard. He's on target to his brother Keenan Allen, who got rocked but stayed on his feet and tumbled ahead to the 30-yard line. 1st and 10, California on a 16-yard completion.
One of the strengths of Zach Maynard, accurate on the run. And right there, patient before he throws the football to allow Keenan Allen to come open inside the zone.
8th catch of the day for Allen. Cal dominating this third quarter, and they've outscored the Buckeyes 7-0 here in the third. Under 2 minutes to go. So Felly trying to avoid his blocker, Tyler Rigsby, and got ahead to the 25, a gain of 5.
Ohio State has a new corner into the game. Rand Grant, number 12. If I'm Cal, I might want to test him because it's tough to come in and play corner straight off the bench. He's at the top of your screen. There he is, up top.
C.J. Anderson, the running back now. They sent the fullback Stevens out wide to the left. There's a catch, and the ball's loose. Is it a catch? No. Spencer Hagan didn't have full possession. Converted wide receiver, now a tight end, and he's injured. He's had a broken hand. They just took the cast off. And he took a shot in the midsection from Christian Bryant. And just tuning in, they're playing without Richard Rodgers, their outstanding starting tight end. Coach Tedford thinks he's the best tight end of the country. He has a foot injury. Is dressed but hasn't played.
You see right here, Christian Bryant, number 2, will come in. From the safety position, breaking down the football, coming in low. Ooh, and it looks like he got his right knee, Sean. A lot of times those guys are vulnerable, those big targets, and Christian Bryant coming in, throwing a hard tackle, and that's tough duty right there.
As they tend to Hagan, the junior from Sacramento. Let's send you back for an update. Here's Robert Flores in the studio.
All right, Sean, Dr. Pepper 10 conference update. Next season, Pitt and Virginia Tech will be in the ACC. Right now, Pittsburgh still a member of the Big East, and they are leading Virginia Tech at home 28-17. Ray Graham, 2 rushing touchdowns, and that touchdown catch from Tino Sinceri. Sean, back to you.
Pittsburgh looking for its first win under Paul Chryst. Virginia Tech's won 13 straight games on the road.
You have to believe that, Paul Chryst, they couldn't be that bad in the first 2 weeks. He's a good football coach. He knows what he wants to do. Philosophically, he knows what he wants to do offensively, and it's just a matter of getting it together. And it all goes with like any other team in the world. The quarterback play. Tino Sinceri is playing well today.
Saw a shot there a moment ago. Number 11, Richard Rodgers, the would-be starting tight end. Terrific player. His dad, Richard Sr., played at Cal back in the early 80s and is remembered for being involved in the play in their win over Stanford. His dad had the 4th of the 5 laterals, the famous "the band is on the field" play.
Yeah.
And it does look like a right knee injury to Hagan. So they're really undermanned now at tight end without the starter Rodgers. Hagan started today. They have Jacob Wark, number 84, had that costly holding penalty in the first half that nullified a Cal touchdown. They didn't score on that drive, and that call looks bigger and bigger as time goes by.
Just to go back to that play, I mean, I preach fundamentals. If the trombone player would have wrapped up, they would have had to tackle. You got to make the tackle in open field. Didn't do it. When they do get Rodgers back, though, that just gives them another target to utilize. And if Zach Maynard can build on this game, they could make some noise in the Pac-12.
The expectations low, at least in the preseason Pac-12 polls, for the California Golden Bears. Young team in places, remade offensive line. There's Wark now. The top 3 tight ends. He's the only healthy one. 3rd down and 5. They are in field goal range. as we approach a minute left in the third quarter. Maynard, and it's incomplete. Big hit again by Bryant to knock it away from C.J. Anderson. Would have been a first down if he had held on. Now they're going to have to settle for a field goal try.
Well, you have to know where to sit the route down. Right here, C.J. Anderson is drifting into Christian Bryant to safety. This is where he has to sit down. Then Zach Maynard can help him out by throwing him open, throwing the ball away from where the coverage is coming from.
Vincenzo D'Amato 0 for 1 today. Missed from 40. Badly hooked it wide left, a lot like that one. So he's 0 for 2. And that's the difference in the game right now. 6 points. Of course, Ohio State missed an extra point. It hasn't been a great day for either kicker.
And frustrating for a coach, especially when you're playing a good defense like Ohio State. You have a chance to get points on the board. Those are 3 blown opportunities, 2 missed field goals, and the touchdown nullified by the holding call.
D'Amato was their kicker in 2009, shared the duties with Giorgio Tavecchio, but Tavecchio was the starter the last couple of years, and now D'Amato has the chance again. He made his last 4 coming into today, was 4 for 5 for the year, but 0 for 2 today. Miller, crowd sees the man open deep, and the ball's late getting there, and then underthrown, incomplete, intended for Corey Brown.
Missed touchdown opportunity. I mean, wide open. And Braxton Miller's got to understand where the read is. The read is from deep to short. He stays too long to his left, missing Corey Brown. That's running scot-free, untouched for about 5 seconds.
Crowd saw the replay. They think it was a catch. And Corey Brown is saying he thinks it's a catch too. Now Urban Meyer's running down the sideline. And now Urban Meyer saying run the play to his quarterback, and they do. And it's a sweep with Jordan Hall, who's upended as he crossed the line of scrimmage by Steve Williams. Hits the turf. Well, that's not a catch.
Corey Brown was tired after that play because Steve Williams just beat him man-to-man to tackle Jordan Hall into the backfield. Those are little things that multiply, that you keep your eye on as the game progresses.
Good things about his field turf. You see those dark rubber pelts that fly up in the air when the ball hits the ground. Miller on 3rd down and 6. Kept the play alive and then throws incomplete. Looking for Evan Spencer. Buckeye offense woeful here in the 3rd quarter. Credit this Cal defense. It's been one of the best in the Pac-12 the last couple of years. They have dominated the Buckeye offense here in the 3rd.
What they're doing well, when Braxton Miller doesn't look to run, instead of panicking, their defensive backs and back 7 are locking up receivers. So when they're in zone, it turns to man as soon as he starts to scramble.
Here's Ben Buchanan. Been one of the stars of the game for Ohio State because Keenan Allen cannot return his punch. The one time he did, Allen lost 9 yards. End of the 3rd quarter. There is a flag down back at the line of scrimmage. The 8th punt of the game for Ben Buchanan. Not only is an outstanding student, but a great member of the community here. He's gone on medical missions several times down to Honduras. Personal foul against Ohio State.
Remember what Urban told Quinn at halftime, what about the stupid penalties? How do you correct that? And Urban's quote was, "Don't be stupid."
I think we both enjoyed the visit with Urban Meyer yesterday for a lot of reasons. Just always interesting to talk to him.
Offense. Foul occurred at the line of scrimmage. The defense has chosen to tack it on. We'll have an untimed down.
They'll play one more down here in the third quarter, and they'll mark it off to the Ohio State 46-yard line. What I was going to say, Chris, it was great to see Urban. He looked well physically. His spirits were high. He, as we all know, was physically and emotionally spent when he stepped away from coaching at Florida and made a commitment to his family that if he went back into coaching, he'd take better care of himself, take time away, spend time with his family, and so far so good on all of those fronts.
Well, when I did a game down in Florida, he looked uptight and miserable. And I never seen a guy live a dream so miserable. Then when he come up here and we talk to him, just he's having fun and he's keeping things in perspective. Now he's a little uptight right now and miserable. That's because he's in a ball game.
And he knew it would be. He said this is by far the best opponent of the three we will have played.
Him lined up in the right direction.
Yeah. I don't think the players understood it's still the third quarter and one untimed down. Great field position for Cal. They've had the ball now. This is the third time with a chance to take the lead. Zach Maynard, 21 of 29 for 242 yards. For the ground ball snap, handed it to Sofele. He gets 5, and we're reasonably certain. Actually, you got 6, and we're now totally convinced the third quarter is over. Ohio State clinging to a 6-point lead in Columbus. Welcome back to ABC's College Football, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. From Ohio Stadium, the Horseshoe in Columbus. Buckeyes trying to get to 3-0. California's 1-1 for the year. Ohio State led by 13, 20-7 at the half, but California dominated the third quarter, outgaining the Buckeyes 195-25. Ohio State had 1 first down in the third quarter. Big edge in yardage. About a 9-minute edge in time of possession for California, but still down by 6. 2nd and 4 from the Buckeye 40. Another bubble screen. Bryce Triggs, the freshman, driven out of bounds by Christian Bryant. First down, Cal at the 25-yard line. 15 yards to the freshman Triggs.
Anytime they're off, Sean, they're going to run this right there. You see Work, number 84, getting out and getting in the block, and you have Lyman getting downfield, chopping linebackers. You're going to get a big play, but I got to comment on that tackle. Excellent by Christian Bryant.
He splattered him to the turf. That looked like Chris Spielman.
Yes.
Sofele wrapped up by Hankins and Shazier. 2-yard gain. Well, the extra point missed by Ohio State looks big right now, and the 2 missed field goals by Cal loom large.
It makes you wonder if Jeff Tedford gets close. Do you have 4 downs to get the first down, or do you kick the field goal on 4th down? Does he have trust in his kicker?
0 for 2 kicking field goals. They had an 18-yard punt that led to an Ohio State touchdown. Maynard runs away from the rush, now running out of time, and throws. Anderson caught it. Was he in bounds? Apparently not.
I really think the decision to be patient is fine, but get positive yards by tucking it and running. That's a catch. That's a catch.
I think at the very least that might be reviewed. I think that might be what Jeff Tedford's wondering about as he approaches the official on his side.
From that angle, that was definitely a catch.
And now they are going to stop the play.
C.J. Anderson been effective out of the backfield, and good awareness by dragging both feet. If indeed he did hold on to it.
The previous play was ruled an incomplete pass. That play is under further review.
When does he have possession? Right there is tOSU dragging, but does he have the ball?
I don't see the ball moving at all.
Well, is that a catch? I mean, does that constitute possession there? Because if he only has it now, and that does look like it hits the ground and then moves up into his midsection.
From this angle.
It's a tough one.
I think it's a catch. Gotta make that call. The hands are underneath the ball, which shows me right there that ball does not move when he hits the ground. Clearly, because of the rubber pellets that you pointed out earlier are flying, the toes are dragging.
Well, it's a big call because it would be a first down for Cal inside the 15-yard line. Great effort by Anderson, who's had a couple of balls he couldn't hang on to today. Also made some nice plays. Replay official is Tom Herbert. Looks like he has reached his decision.
Following the video review, the play stands as called. Incomplete pass, third down.
Would agree with it only because it didn't seem conclusive. I mean, it was hard for us to tell. And the call on the field was incomplete pass.
And if they would have called it complete, then it wouldn't have been hard to argue that either. I mean, either or.
Not conclusive enough to overturn it. Really, you need the direction. Third down and 8. They are in field goal range again, but you wonder with D'Amato's 0 for 2, this is 4 down territory. Might depend on if they can pick up most of the yardage here. Out of the gun. Maynard bubble screen off the hands of Harper. So in order to corral it, he had to lunge for it and got only 2 yards. There is a flag down. Line of scrimmage, far sideline. Apparently it's against Ohio State.
Offside. Defense, number 92, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, third down.
Adolphus Washington, the true freshman from Cincinnati. What a terrible time to do that.
What does this do for Ohio State's defense? 3rd and 3. You're forced to play man. And when you're forced to play man, you got to get up and bump. You can't play a soft man, which they've done. They've been hurt by it. He's been going to Keenan Allen, his brother, who's lined up right here on these crucial situations.
3rd and 3. Zips one, caught by his brother Keenan Allen, who retreated, but then had the awareness to make sure he extended that ball forward for a first down by about a half a yard. Nope. C.J. Barnett made the tackle.
No question where he's going, Sean. That's his comfort zone. Again, what do we talk about? You can't play off. I mean, he's getting help from Christian Bryant, but you got to get up and press him a little bit to force a quicker throw by the quarterback, Zach Maynard.
9th catch for Allen. First and 10, California inside the 15. Jeff Tedford wants a timeout.
Don't pull a muscle, coach.
Timeout. Cal, first timeout.
He really wanted a timeout. He still has good speed at age 50. Very entertaining start to this college football day on ABC, and tonight a dandy Notre Dame and Michigan State at 8 o'clock. Cal has outplayed Ohio State today here in the Horseshoe, but the Buckeyes still lead by 6. Almost 2 minutes into the 4th quarter. 1st and 10, Golden Bears at the Buckeye 14. Maynard under center. That's a lateral. Allen throws back to Maynard. Good move to get away from Simon, and the ball knocked out of bounds by Ryan Shazier. Just shy of the first down. Well, they called the timeout, went into their bag of tricks, and that very easily could have been a touchdown.
John Simon saved the day by being disciplined. He saw the pass. He understood and recognized it to be a lateral. Does not vary too far away. Holds his responsibility, fighting off blockers, forces the cutback, which allows the pursuit of Shazier. to get there to stop it.
I wonder how many times Zach Maynard and Keenan Allen have thrown the ball back and forth like that in the backyard in Greensboro, North Carolina. 2nd and 2. Allen went in motion. C.J. Anderson up the middle and down inside the 1. Wrapped up by C.J. Barnett. 1st and goal, California.
Right there, it's just a battle of wills. Could be a sign of fatigue. Cal lines up hurry and look for a quarterback sneak right here.
And Maynard spins. Touchdown. That's Zach and Keenan's mom, Dory Maynard Lang, made the trip here from Greensboro, North Carolina. Both of her sons have been terrific here today, and now Cal is an extra point away from the lead.
Anytime there's a hurry-up situation down on that red zone, as you did see the ball cross the front end of the goal line, which indicates touchdown, you got to anticipate quarterback sneak. Execution at its highest level for the Cal offense this second half.
Now Vincenzo D'Amato. Critical extra point right down the middle. California leads 21-20 early in the 4th quarter in Columbus.
ESPN's College Football on ABC, brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. Nissan, innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation that excites. And Liberty Mutual Insurance, responsibility. What's your policy?
On a beautiful day here in the capital of the great state of Ohio, Columbus, California has rallied from 13 down to the half to take the lead on the first rushing touchdown of the season for the senior Zach Maynard.
I've been waiting for him to have that breakout game, and I think it's safe to say he's had the breakout game so far today.
His inconsistency has been frustrating to everybody around the Cal football program, including himself. He was very honest about that yesterday. The next step is to be consistently good. He can be good, usually in spurts. Vincenzo D'Amato's kickoff down in the end zone by Devin Smith. Keenan Allen, 2.5 years younger than his half-brother Zach Maynard. They are exceptionally close. I mentioned to the point where Keenan Allen was going to go to Alabama as one of the top recruits in the country, but as soon as Zach Maynard decided to transfer from Buffalo to Cal, Allen went with him, because more than anything else, the biggest factor in his decision was the chance to play with his brother. They share the same mother. Zach's dad, Scott Lang, is Keenan's stepfather. Jordan Hall running room and nearly ran away. Got to the 40 for a 15-yard gain and a first down. Just the second first down of the second half for the Buckeyes, who've gone 7 straight possessions without scoring.
Improvement by Braxton Miller in understanding the read option. Right then and there, he understood that Scarlett was not attacking, but he had no chance on Jordan Hall, so he made the proper decision to pitch at the proper time. Now, eventually, Cal's going to have to adjust to that, and that's where Braxton decides to keep it and go.
Miller zips one underneath. Corey Brown to the 38 of Cal. So the lead being taken by Cal seems to put a little urgency back in the offense of the Buckeyes. This is good for 22.
And again, you want to get the ball into the hands of Corey Brown. The other thing that would put some urgency back to the Buckeye offense is to up the tempo a little bit. That's, to me, when they operate at their most efficient level.
Design run for Miller. Ran into some traffic, bounced the other way, and he's down to the 31. 8 more yards for Ohio State. After 27 carries last week, which everybody said was too many, he's been quite deferential today. That's just his 9th carry of this afternoon. McCain, who left with cramps, is back out there for Cal. The pitch to Hall, first down. His return to action today, first appearance of this season, has been a big boost to Ohio State. That gets him over 80 yards rushing. 15 carries, 81 yards now for the senior from Jeanette, Pennsylvania.
We always talk about patience, Sean, patience of the quarterback. Right there, Scarlett showed good patience. And he's going to get antsy because it's getting frustrating for him that he's got to want to hit somebody, but he has to stay disciplined and not attack and force Braxton Miller to make a long decision.
Miller, plenty of time, looks for a throwback and has his man. Juggling catch made and held on to. Jeff Hireman, one of their tight ends, good for about 9 to the 18-yard line. They're clearly in field goal range now, and a field goal would give Ohio State the lead again. Alex Logan made the tackle.
I think he had in his mind he was going there because he had Devin Smith on the post wide open and didn't even look at him.
164 passing. Averages 181 through the first 2 games. Design run again for Miller. Has the first down. Stopped at the 15-yard line. Under 10 minutes to go, and a tight one in this Pac-12 Big Ten matchup.
It's interesting when it gets crunch time, who's running the football. I mean, that's their comfort zone, as it should be.
He's their best runner, their leading rusher last season, their leading rusher this season entering today. 10 carries, 69 yards, including a 55-yard touchdown run in the first half. Aaron Tapodi, fine defensive lineman, had to go out after losing his helmet. He's not on for this play. They pressure Miller nonetheless, and he did well to get rid of it. As Nathan Broussard, backup linebacker, redshirt freshman, had a hold of Braxton Miller.
Now they implemented the Michael Vick rules. Clancy Pendergrass did when he was coaching with the Cardinals when they played Michael Vick. Those rules include don't overrun him so he can step up and beat you inside. Keep your hands up when you rush. Lock down and coverage behind you. And they've done a good job this second half, especially keep him from turning a throwing lane into a running lane on a scramble.
Clancy Pendergast, longtime coach in the NFL. He was the defensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals when they played in the Super Bowl. Lost to Pittsburgh. Miller throws, caught, first down. Evan Spencer at the 5-yard line. First and goal, Ohio State trying to reclaim the lead, a 10-yard gain.
Yeah, and they're going up tempo right now, trying to catch Cal in a substitution change, and Evan Spencer snatches the ball with his hands like his dad Tim used to do.
Miller faked the handoff to Hall. All kinds of time and some running room, and he got banged out of bounds just shy of the 1-yard line. Looks like they're going to mark it now inside the 1. Alex Logan prevented the touchdown.
The mental errors happen. The receivers were playing run. Braxton Miller was playing pass. Those guys were downfield blocking. Braxton has nobody to throw to. Good decision to tuck it and run, but I like the decision to cover up the football for any uncostly turnovers.
Second and goal. Flag down. Hall's into the end zone for a touchdown, but it isn't going to count. Illegal procedure.
Ball start. 77 offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
The 9th penalty of the game against Ohio State. That had been Cal's problem through the first 2 games. Today, it's been a major thorn in the side of Urban Meyer. Including that huge offside penalty on Cal's go-ahead touchdown drive. And Buckeye defender Washington was lined up in the neutral zone. Corey Brown now lines up in the backfield on second and goal from just outside the 5. Miller keeps and cannot get outside, at least for the moment. Fought his way down near the 2-yard line. Robert Mullins finally able to get him down. That looked like it was going to be no gain, perhaps even a loss. He got free from Mark Anthony, who ordinarily a sure tackler.
Part of the discipline of a defense is disregard all the action happening in the backfield. The pulling lineman will take you to the play, and Cal's defense did just that to stop Braxton Miller from getting in the end zone.
3rd and goal. Obviously, Ohio State would much prefer the touchdown, but you don't want to do anything to harm the field goal chance here, which would give you the lead. Miller, touchdown. Jake Stoneburner. They're going to go for 2 now, try to get back that missed extra point and take a 7-point lead, so they couldn't lose to a touchdown and a Cal extra point. Chris, we watched them practice that play the other day, and Urban Meyer was personally coaching Braxton Miller about the importance of selling that fake, the run action, before he stands upright and throws it.
And they try to sell it even more by putting Zach Bourne in the ball game, trying to confuse the defense into being a lead blocker.
Try for 2 with 8.5 to go. And Urban didn't like it after they lined up over the left hash mark. Each team has 2 timeouts left. Buckeyes 75 yards in 11 plays and a 3-yard pass to Stoneburner. We're back at the Horseshoe in Columbus. Ohio State has just scored a touchdown to take a 5-point lead. Now they're trying for 2 to make the lead 7. Leave the ball over by the left hash mark. Miller running to the wide side of the field, keeps it and has the 2 points.
Acting is part of football. You got to be able to sell. Number 5 sells Braxton Miller. Stoneburner sells number 11 on the block and on the fake. The number 5 for California, Michael Lowe, doesn't do his job, takes his eyes off the man. And you see Braxton Miller just toss the easy catch, which we've seen made famous by Tim Tebow. And I know that Urban likes to have choices in a running quarterback's hands. The full sprint out to Braxton Miller. If it's nothing there, tuck it and run. Do what you can do for 2.
Miller on that touchdown drive was 4 out of 5 passing for 43 and a touchdown. Ran 4 times for 18 yards and then ran for the 2-point conversion. Well, let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary with 8.5 minutes to go. California rallied from 13 down at the break to take a 1-point lead. But Braxton Miller has moved back to the center of the stage. And Zach Maynard's had his best day of the year.
Well, it's nice to have for Jeff Tedford, a 23-year-old quarterback that's playing his best game. And you're in it with 8:31 to go. And your team on offense has been clicking.
Drew Basil to kick off. Mike Manuel and Brendan Bigelow back deep. Kicking off with the wind. Bigelow wanted to. Mike Manuel said no. Here's Robert Flores in our studio.
All right, Sean, AT&T Player of the Week, All-American nominee. Florida State led Wake Forest 38-0 at the half. Chris Thompson, a big reason why. 197 yards, 2 touchdowns on 9 carries. He didn't even play the second half. You can text vote to 34763. Results released Thursday night on ESPN.
It's a pretty good half.
Yeah. Well, yard per carry is pretty decent. $105,232 the attendance on this glorious mid-September afternoon. Bigelow, the running back. He had the 81-yard touchdown earlier for Cal. He takes the handoff and has running room again. And he's out of bounds across the 39. We're going to mark him beyond the 40-yard line. Chased out by Travis Howard. 16 yards on the run for Bigelow. So Nathan Williams does a good job of containing, but he underestimates the speed of Bigelow. Why? I don't know, because he did go 81. He's probably set a world record doing it.
2 carries, 96 yards for Bigelow. That's a pretty good average, so why wouldn't you give it to him again? He's going to go again. Touchdown, Bigelow in California. Officially a 59-yard touchdown run that has stunned this huge crowd in Columbus. An extra point away for a tie are the Golden Bears. Three carries and 156 yards.
He's going after the guy from Florida State's record.
Don't text just yet. Vincenzo D'Amato adds the extra point.
Missed tackle, Sean, can kill ya. Ryan Shazier, the leading tackler, will be the first culprit. And watch Christian Bryant come in. Tough football player, good football player. 2 of your best football players have a chance to make a play. Watch it unfold before your eyes. When you duck your head and you don't wrap up, you miss. And I talked about it. Bigelow made a miss when Shazier didn't wrap up in the first half. He makes a miss again when Christian Bryant has a chance to come up and make the sure tackle by wrapping his arms. Instead, he just dives at his legs. And Bigelow high hurdled him. He's running a track meet all day. He might need an IV.
Well, he was a track athlete in high school, Central East in Fresno, California, at a personal best of 10.62 in the 100 meters. He can fly. Had 2 carries this season entering today's game. Had 6 last year as a true freshman. Tough act to follow in our next games up. They're on ABC and ESPN2, and Virginia and Georgia Tech on ESPNU at the bottom of the hour. Still a long way to go here. 8:10 remaining. D'Amato kicks off. Devin Smith. He got crushed at the 21-yard line by Avery Sebastian. Here's Robert Flores in our studio.
Hey, Sean, Louisiana on the road. Remember, they upset Arkansas last week. They're looking for another upset of another SEC team this week against Auburn. Colton Browning to Harley Ciano. Great catch, and the Warhawks down just 7. Fourth quarter, 5:40 and change.
The last team not currently in a BCS AQ conference would beat SEC opponents in consecutive games. Tulane way back in 1988. They beat Ole Miss and Mississippi State back-to-back weeks. Jordan Hall to the 25-yard line, a gain of 3, under 8 minutes to go. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. Cal and Ohio State knotted at 28.
No, I trust me. I think Braxton Miller believes that. He needs to trust himself right now. And as we saw the last drive, he kind of took over. Fourth quarter, 7:40 to go. This is your ball game to win, son. That's what Urban Meyer and Tom Herman are thinking right now.
Tom Herman, the offensive coordinator. He calls the plays from the booth upstairs. Miller threw it away. Nowhere to go with it. And a big 3rd down and 7 here for Ohio State, more than midway through the fourth quarter.
Devin Smith's been the guy in the first half. If Cal chooses man, they're going to try to match him up with Mark Anthony, number 2, as Devin Smith enters the game, all along with Evan Spencer. And Stoneburner's a guy that can be a factor in this situation with his size matchup.
Tom Herman was the gentleman against the wall there in the sunglasses. Big play call for him right here in his first year at Ohio State. Only a 3-man rush for the Golden Bears, giving Miller a lot of time, and he throws, and it is intercepted at the 45-yard line. Steve Williams, Jr. from Dallas, with his first interception of the season and the 4th of his career. The first turnover of the game for either team.
Boy, you love corners with short memories. Steve Williams had a tough day in coverage. Protection's outstanding. Good call by Clancy Pendergrass, and he tries to force it in. We talk about read a corner, throw a corner. Steve Williams baited him. Made him look like he was jumping a short guy. As soon as the ball was released, he knew that he had somebody behind him. Just dropped back into coverage and made the catch.
The second interception of the year for the Cal defense. Mark Anthony brought one back for a touchdown last week against Southern Utah. Now Sofelli bounces outside and gets upended and makes his way down to the 36 for a gain of 8. Bradley Roby sent him airborne. 7 minutes to go. Came back up quickly. Sofelli very close to the first down yardage. Looks like they're going to give him the mark necessary to pick it up. Garrett Goebel and Bradley Roby bounced him back. When you're a coach coming under some fire, as Jeff Tedford is, these are the kinds of wins, if he could pull it off, that help to douse the Flames.
Well, amazing that he's come under fire.
I think it's crazy myself, given the kind of coach he is, but the world we live in.
I was going for that with amazing, but I'll take crazy too. Yeah. How about crazily amazing? There you go.
Winningest coach in the history of the school. They won one game the year before he got there, but now they've not been winning at quite as regular a rate. Some of the folks are getting impatient out there in the Bay Area. C.J. Anderson, the ball carrier, down to the 31-yard line. Long field goal for D'Amato is 47. That was a ball that hit the crossbar and went over last week against Southern Utah. That's about what it would be from here. 47, 48-yard field goal. They're thinking about 7. 2nd and 8. Sofelli down to the 25. The Cal baseball team needs a shortstop. Maynard might be a good choice because he can field a ground ball. We've seen that today on these shotgun snaps.
I almost think, though, that's what he's used to doing. And that's just, he anticipates that he's going to be low every time. But if I'm Cal, I take my time. I let that play clock run down just a little bit. You're doing what you want to do on offense. So let it run down a little bit before you call it.
Power formation here, and they give it to the fullback, and Stevens didn't get much. Not a yard when they needed 2. Now a tough call here for Tedford. Your field goal kicker's 0 for 2 from just about this distance. We'll see how much faith he has in D'Amato. It's within his range, but do you believe he's going to make it? But you'd like your chances better on converting on 4th and 1.
Well, at the very least, what I like to do is go with the old try to draw them off sides. At the very least. I almost think, man, you come here, go for it.
I think he's going to let the play clock go all the way down and then use a timeout. And your coach whose future at the very least is being debated. These are the kind of decisions that could have a serious impact on your future. D'Amato, a 40-yard miss in the first half. That wasn't close. This one from 42 in the third quarter, a little bit closer. Tedford looked like a man who'd seen enough of that act. Let's go down to the field. There's Quint Kesnick.
Cal special teams coach Jeff Jenick. He's got the yellow shirt on. About 5 minutes ago, he's just sports psychology with Vincenzo D'Amato there by the net. D'Amato was doing some kicks. He said, close your eyes and envision the goalpost getting wider, getting wider, getting wider. Obviously, right now, after 2 misses, not convinced that D'Amato's feeling good about himself. Let's see.
Well, he pulled the last 2. Sometimes you're vulnerable to push it to the right if you miss 2 to the left.
Junior from Lake Forest, California. 42 yards, way off. All 3 of them wide left. No kicker could envision the goalpost being as wide as they would have needed to been for that one to have been good. This fall on ABC, don't miss the season premiere of the all-new comedy The Neighbors. They found their dream home. So what if the neighbors are aliens? The Neighbors premieres Wednesday, September 26th at 9:30, 8:30 Central on ABC. Braxton Miller, still a tie game at 28 after the third Cal missed field goal today. He throws incomplete. And Nick Vanette, the tight end.
You know,
2nd and 10.
What they haven't done in the second half is attack down the field. Where were they successful throwing the ball in the first half? Taking some shots. They're just playing it a little bit close to the vest, in my opinion, so far this second half, especially on first down. That's when you want to take it.
Trying to find some running room, got 3 before he was driven back at the 28-yard line by Michael Lowe and Brennan Scarlett. 4 minutes to go. Tie game and a 3rd down and 7 for Ohio State.
This is where Clancy Pendergrass has chosen to drop 8 to take away all throwing lanes. Also to play zone to keep your eyes on Braxton Miller just in case if he decides to tuck and run.
And feel the anxiety from the crowd here. Miller flushed, throws on the run, a man wide open. Devin Smith behind the defense, touchdown. 72 yards. Fourth touchdown pass of the day for Braxton Miller. They won't come any easier than that. Total breakdown in the Cal defense, and Smith was all alone.
Both guys are going to jump inside. Understand the down and distance. They do rush 3. They drop 8. You have Mark Anthony and Alex Logan jump a useless route with Devin Smith running scot-free down the sidelines. That's a mental error, a miscommunication, a breakdown, and frankly, could be one that costs you the game. Zone defense, deep as the deepest. Every zone there is ever invented by man, it's always deep as the deepest somebody is.
Well, the spotlight back on Zach Maynard in the California offense. Boy, Devin Smith's had a couple of drops. Imagine the kind of day he'd be having if he caught every ball thrown to him. 5 catches, 145 yards, and 2 TDs. Drew Basil kicks off. Bigelow. Wow, wouldn't you try it?
With him? Yeah.
I mean, that's unbelievable. Only about 3 yards deep. He's broken some long runs today with his speed. Take the chance. Tonight, 4 undefeated teams highlight ESPN's primetime college football doubleheader at 6. They're excited now in Tennessee. The Vols back in the top 25. Lost 7 in a row to Florida, and that great rivalry trying to end that tonight. At 6, and at 9:15, number 14 Texas on the road to take on Ole Miss. Tonight on ESPN and live on Watch ESPN. 3:26 to go and 1 timeout with which to work for Zach Maynard. Needs to lead him 75 yards. Looked like there was movement on the left end of the offensive line, left side of it.
Ball start, 77 offense, 5-yard penalty, range first down.
This is where the noise can be a factor, which might have contributed to jumping early.
Double screen again to Chris Harper. Dragged down by a leg by Etienne Sabino. For those of you tuning in to watch the North Carolina-Louisville game, that game will start over on ESPN News. And if you're looking for Penn State and Navy, you'll want to go to ESPN2 as they look for the first victory of the Bill O'Brien era. Lost last week at Virginia to the Nittany Lions because of missed field goals, and that's been a big problem for Cal today here in Columbus. 2nd and 10, and Maynard swung down by Jonathan Hankins.
Where he's most effective is inside. You put him in a one-on-one situation, Big Hank's going to make a play. Right there, he just gets him turned, shoulders turned, and has a second gear to the quarterback to finish the play. There's a future NFL first-rounder.
The pass rush is back for the Buckeyes. 6 sacks today by 6 different players. And a valiant effort on the road comes down to this desperation play for Cal. 3rd and 20. Must convert. Maynard throws it up for grabs. The receiver goes down, and there's a flag. Keenan Allen ran into the traffic, but C.J. Barnett at the 50-yard line, and 2 flags have been thrown.
2 things on that play, Sean. First of all, where's his comfort zone? He's going to go to Keenan. Anything down the field, he's going to his brother, Keenan Allen. Secondly, you have to trust your technique and not panic. You had him more than covered to run into him a little bit early for the PI.
Pass interference. Defense, number 21, 15-yard penalty. Automatic, first down.
From the line of scrimmage in college football, but the big thing is it gives them the first down.
And what could have helped them right there? Everybody's fine. And you come in and just bump them early. Now, what you want to do in that situation, Orion Johnson, number 19, you see him coming late into the picture, could have helped out by jamming him or making him change speeds at the line of scrimmage. What that does, it disrupts the timing and allows your pass rush then to get to Zach Maynard. Can't let him run free, putting pressure on safeties. Inside receivers need to be bumped.
10th penalty of the game against Ohio State for 89 yards. And California has a new set of downs. 2:06 to go. 1 timeout from the Bears 30. Maynard zinged one to Bryce Treggs. 8-yard gain.
Ohio State, what you're going to do now is you're going to play zone. I know people don't like it, but it's a little bit of prevent because you've had some miscommunication in your man coverage.
3 wide receivers for Cal. Another low snap for Maynard. Throws it over the head of Harper. 3rd down and 2. We're 5 for 14 on 3rd downs today.
3 true freshmen, and John Simon has a defensive line. That's fresh legs. The one thing you worry about a true freshman, be smart and don't hit the quarterback late.
4 down territory, so you would expect the possibility of a running play here to pick up the first down, and it's Bigelow. He's had 3 carries for 156 yards and 2 touchdowns today, the tailback. Brendan Bigelow lined up behind Eric Stevens. Bigelow out in space again. That's the first down. Whew. Stayed on his feet and not allowed Bryant to come over and give him a pop. I think that Barnett and Howard had slowed him up, but it is a first down for Cal.
And they got that out to play action because in the previous short down yardage, they've been handing up to the fullback, Eric Stevens. That time the fake to Stevens allowed enough time for Bigelow to get to the edge.
Clock running after they reset the chains. Maynard down the middle and intercepted behind his receiver and picked off by Christian Bryant. who took it back to the 25-yard line. The first California turnover of the game will extinguish their hopes. There is a flag down.
Following the interception return, dead ball, personal foul, number 92, 15-yard penalty, first down Ohio State.
Adolphus Washington, the true freshman defensive lineman, is guilty of that very costly offside penalty on Cal's go-ahead touchdown drive.
Where's his target? Keenan Allen. It's been his target all day in crunch time. Watch Ryan Shazier. Gets enough depth to get underneath Keenan Allen to force the overthrow. Christian Bryant staying patient, playing center field. Does a good job with ball skills, going up and snagging it with his hands. Ball game.
First interception of the season for Christian Bryant, junior from Cleveland. Now all they have to do is take a knee. Cal can stop it only once. The Buckeyes are going to go to 3-0 under Urban Meyer in his first season. All 3 wins at home. With another home game next Saturday against UAB. Well, Cal put forth its best effort of the season, but it's going to wind up in a loss to drop them to 1-2. Cal will use the timeout. They cannot stop it again. UAB the next game, the 4th of the 4 straight home games, and then it gets considerably more difficult. They cannot play in the Big Ten championship game, nor can they go to a bowl game. They're still on probation. They have a loss of 3 scholarships for 3 years, 3 scholarships a year for 3 years.
So Nebraska coming in October 6th on ESPN Networks along with Penn State. But the thing I would be concerned about, Sean, is Michigan State, obviously a good football team, great defense. That's their first road game of the year too, under Urban Meyer, and a whole new travel schedule. I mean, those are all the little details that coaches worry about.
Betrayed by the very nation they swore to protect. Two of America's most powerful nuclear sub targeted for destruction. Its last resort Thursday, September 27th at 8/7 Central on ABC. No last resort now for Cal, out of timeouts. Brennan Bigelow emerged today for California. Player little known to most Cal fans in all likelihood. Certainly well known after his outstanding performance. 2 long touchdowns. 160 yards rushing on 4 carries.
I think Cal can build on this again. You know, they're starting their Pac-12 league. A tough one against USC, but they do have athletes. You get quarterback play like they got today, besides the last play, they'll be in every ball game.
Well, they continue to have the things happen.
Yeah, the penalties
that cost them the game. Turnovers and penalties the first 2 weeks. Today, 3 missed field goals and a horrible busted assignment in the secondary on the Ohio State winning touchdown. Great friends Tedford and Meyer. Ohio State 3-0. And disappointment for Vincenzo D'Amato, the field goal kicker, who missed 3 times. Here's Quint Kesnick.
As Coach Meyer shakes hands. Coach, what happened on the winning touchdown when Braxton found Devin Smith?
Around. Hey, good luck to you now.
Shaking hands.
He scrambled around, and having a quarterback to make something out of nothing. Cal played real hard. Cal's got a good football team. You
shared a momentary smile with Coach Tedford, who's a friend, but I didn't see many smiles during the game. What type of emotions did this game bring out in you?
It means you got a lot of work to do. You find a way to win against a Pac-12 team, a bunch of good athletes on that team, and we got to get a lot better. But we're going to enjoy a win and go get ready for one more.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Sean.
Miller threw for 249 and 4 touchdowns and rushed for 75 and a score. Ohio State a winner, 35-28 over California. Coming up next on ABC. Stay tuned for more great college football action. Thanks for joining us, and so long from Columbus.